Sunday morning came with the soft chaos of Oliver bouncing on Kate's bed at 7 a.m., asking when Sam and Val were coming back. "They said 10, buddy," Kate mumbled, pulling a pillow over her face. "It's currently 7. "But that's so long. It's 3 hours. That's forever." Kate gave up on sleep. By the time Sam and Valentina arrived, Oliver was vibrating with excitement. He'd already picked out his favorite dinosaur shirt and had been standing by the door for 20 minutes. "Ready, Ollie?" Sam asked, crouching down to his level. "So ready." "Arcade first, then pizza?" "Yes!" Valentina smiled at Kate and Lily, who were standing in the kitchen. "We'll have him back by 4, maybe 5 if the pizza place is busy." "Take your time," Kate said. "Seriously." "Oh, we will," Sam said with a grin. "This kid and I have important business to discuss, like which dinosaur would win in a fight, T-Rex or Triceratops." "Triceratops," Oliver said immediately. "See? He already knows what's up." They headed out, Oliver's excited chatter echoing down the hall until the elevator doors closed. The apartment fell quiet. Kate poured herself more coffee, glancing at Lily, who was wiping down the already clean counter. "You don't have to do that," Kate said. "I know, just keeping busy." Kate nodded, watching her for a moment. "Actually, I wanted to ask you something." Lily looked up. "Yeah? When Sam and Val get back with Oliver later?" Kate paused, choosing her words carefully. "I need to talk to them about something. Would you mind maybe taking Oliver to his room for a bit? Maybe a movie or something?" Lily's expression shifted. Curious, but understanding. "Oh, of course. Are you planning something for him?" Kate's eyes met hers, and there was something there. Something Lily couldn't quite read. Something like that. "A birthday thing? I know his birthday isn't until March, but just a surprise," Kate said, her lips curving slightly. "Nothing bad, I promise." "Okay," Lily said, smiling. "I can definitely keep him distracted." Kate held her gaze for just a beat longer than necessary. "Thank you." At 4:15, the front door burst open. "Mom! Lily! I won so many tickets!" Oliver ran in, clutching a plastic bag full of arcade prizes, mostly tiny rubber dinosaurs and candy. Samantha and Valentina followed, both looking slightly exhausted but happy. "He destroyed me at skee-ball," Sam announced. "Completely destroyed me. I have no dignity left." "You never had dignity to begin with," Valentina said fondly. Kate caught Lily's eye and gave a subtle nod toward Oliver. "Hey, buddy," Lily said, crouching down. "Want to show me all your prizes in your room? We can watch a movie, too." "Can we watch the dinosaur one?" "Whichever one you want." "Yes!" Oliver grabbed her hand and pulled her down the hall. Once his door closed, Kate turned to Sam and Valentina. "Okay," Kate said, her voice low. "I need to talk to you two about something." Sam's eyes lit up. "Oh my God, is this about—" "Sam," Valentina warned quietly. "What? I didn't say anything." Kate took a breath. "I'm thinking about taking Lily and Oliver to a cabin for winter break. A week, maybe." Sam's jaw dropped. Valentina smiled knowingly. "Finally," Sam said. "I've been waiting for you to—" Sorry. I'm cool, I'm calm, I'm— Kate, this is amazing." "I haven't even told her yet," Kate said quickly. "I need to figure out how to bring it up without it being weird." "Just tell her," Sam said. "Be like, 'Hey Lily, want to go to a romantic cabin in the woods with me for a week?'" "That's not how I'm going to phrase it." Valentina cut in smoothly. "Position it as a family trip. For Oliver. He's never seen real snow either, has he?" "No, he hasn't." Kate paused. Actually, I was hoping you two would come too. It would make it less obvious if it's a group thing. She hesitated, then added, I should probably ask the rest of the girls too, see if they'd be up for a ski trip or something. Sam's grin spread across her face. Oh, absolutely. Val and I would be happy to teach Oliver how to ski. While you... She wiggled her eyebrows suggestively. Valentina burst out laughing, hiding her face in Sam's shoulder. Kate stared at them. Deadpan. Seriously, Valentina, how are you even together with her? Valentina looked up, her eyes soft as she glanced at Sam. Because she's her, she said simply, like that explained everything. And somehow it did. See, I'm irresistible, Sam beamed. We'd love to come, Kate, Valentina said. Oliver would have a blast, and it would be good for everyone. Kate felt her chest tighten with gratitude. Thank you. Both of you. It doesn't have to be a big declaration, Valentina said gently. Just an invitation. See what happens. From down the hall, they heard Oliver's laughter. Lily must have said something funny. Kate glanced toward the hallway, her expression softening. She's never seen snow before. Can you imagine that? Nope, Sam said. But I can imagine her seeing it for the first time with you there. It's going to be perfect, Kate. Trust me. Kate looked at her friend, chaotic, overly enthusiastic, absolutely right, and felt something settle in her chest. Okay, she said quietly. I'll ask her tomorrow. Sam was practically vibrating with excitement now. Operation Snow Romance is officially happening. Please don't call it that, Kate said. I mean, cool, very chill. We're all very chill about this. We're really not, Valentina said. Not even a little, Sam agreed happily. 20 minutes later, Sam and Valentina were getting ready to leave. Lily emerged from Oliver's room, Oliver trailing behind her. Movie's over. Someone needs a bath. I don't need a bath, Oliver protested. You have pizza sauce in your hair. That's just styling. Sam burst out laughing. Smart move, kid. They said their goodbyes. Sam caught Lily's eye and added with a knowing grin. Lily, I bet we'll see you very soon. Valentina physically turned Sam toward the door. What my girlfriend means is, we hope to see you again soon. That is not what I meant. Ow! Okay, I'm going. The door closed behind them. In the elevator, Sam immediately turned to Valentina. She has no idea. That's the point. Val, this is going to be so good. I'm already planning the ski lessons. We'll take Oliver to the bunny slope and just leave Kate and Lily alone by the fire and... You're going to accidentally spoil this, aren't you? Probably, Sam admitted. But you'll stop me before I do. I always do, Valentina said, pulling her close and kissing her temple. Though I have to say, your enthusiasm is very cute. I know, right? I'm already thinking about how we can... Sam. Very casually suggest they go for a walk in the snow together while we... Valentina kissed her to make her stop talking. When they broke apart, Sam grinned. You're good at that. I've had practice. Monday morning, Kate woke up with a plan. Ask Lily about the cabin. She had already decided she would bring it up after breakfast, once things were quieter. There was nothing dramatic about it. It was a completely reasonable idea, a normal, casual question. Except it was a very big deal, and her stomach had been in knots since 6 a.m. She had faced boardrooms full of tech giants and pitched million-dollar deals without blinking. So why did asking Lily about a cabin feel harder than all of that? She checked her email, reorganized her desk drawer, checked her email again, and even entertained the idea of reorganizing the entire office before admitting what she was doing. You're stalling, she muttered to herself. From the kitchen, she could hear Lily and Oliver talking, something about whether dinosaurs would have liked pancakes. Oliver giggled, and Kate felt her chest tighten. She could not lie to herself anymore. This was exactly what she wanted. And sometimes she wished she and Lily had met without the power imbalance between them from the very beginning. She wished she had not been her boss first. She took a deep breath and forced her shoulders to relax, one step at a time. Kate walked into the kitchen. Oliver was at the table coloring, and Lily was at the stove flipping pancakes. "Morning," Kate said, pouring herself coffee. "Morning," Lily replied, glancing over with a smile. "Want some?" "Yeah, thanks." They moved around each other in that easy way they had developed over the past few months. Lily reaching for plates, Kate grabbing syrup, their hands brushing briefly when they both went for the same cabinet. "Sorry," Lily said. "You're fine." Oliver looked up from his coloring. "Mom, can Sam and Val come over again?" "Actually, funny you mention them." Kate sat down across from him. "I was thinking about taking you somewhere during winter break. There is this cabin my colleague mentioned, mountains, skiing, the whole thing." Oliver's eyes went wide. "Like camping." "Sort of, but with heating and a real bed." "Can I bring my dinosaurs?" "Some of them, yes." Kate glanced at Lily, keeping her tone casual. "You would come too, obviously. I mean, you would have to unless you want the week off. But I figured it might be nice. Sam and Val are coming. They offered to teach Oliver to ski." Lily turned from the stove, spatula in hand. "Wait, really?" "Yeah, I mentioned it to them yesterday. Sam got way too excited about it." Kate took a sip of coffee. "Anyway, no pressure, but it would be good for Oliver to get some fresh air. And apparently there is supposed to be a lot of snow that week." "There is?" "According to the forecast." Kate shrugged like it was no big deal. "Could be wrong, though." Lily stood there, looking surprised. "When would we go?" "Week after next. Winter break starts on the 18th. Oliver tugged on Kate's sleeve. "Mom, can Sam teach me to ski?" "That is the plan, buddy." "Yes!" Kate looked back at Lily. "So, what do you think? You in?" Lily's smile was slow but genuine. Yeah, that sounds really nice, actually." "Cool." Kate stood to refill her coffee, keeping her voice light. "I will book it today, then." This was happening. This was actually happening. Kate had booked the cabin by 9. By 9:15, Sam had a notebook open and a working title: Operation Snow Romance. Valentina had tried to calm her down 3 times before giving up and going to bed. Sam had stayed up another hour, planning. She woke up at 5:40, fully alert, ideas still running. She nudged Valentina, who did not respond, then picked up her phone. Sam created the group. The reunion. Sam: "Okay, everyone shut up and listen." Danny: "No one was talking." Sam: "Even better." Sam: "So here's the deal." Sam: "Snow, mountains, cabins, skiing." Sam: "A full week, all of us, together, in Canada." Sam: "Kate found this incredible place, 3 cabins, fireplace, hot tub." Sam: "And before anyone checks their schedule, it's cleared. I cleared it." Haley: "Sam, it's 6:48 in the morning." Sam: "And I've already been awake for an hour planning this. You're behind." Danny: "I'm in." Haley: "You didn't even ask me." Danny: "Babe, it's a ski trip with our friends. What part of that needs a consulting?" Haley: "The part where we have jobs and responsibilities and plants." Danny: "The plants will survive." Sam: "Guys, focus. Snow, cabins. Are you in or not?" Haley: "Yes. Fine. We're in. Grace: "We haven't all been together since Izzy's birthday. I'm emotional. Izzy. It's been 4 months, Grace. Grace. A lifetime. Danny. I missed your face. Danny. You also have a face? Grace. See? I've missed this energy. Izzy. We're in. When are we thinking? Sam. 2 weeks from now. Kate already booked it. Haley. Kate booked? Sam. And she's bringing someone. Kate's phone lit up on her nightstand. She was already awake. Had been since Oliver climbed into her bed at 6 and asked if tomorrow was technically still tomorrow if you went back to sleep. She picked up her phone, read Sam's last message, and felt her blood pressure spike. Kate. Sam. Sam. Smiley face. Grace. Wait, who is Kate bringing? Since when does Kate bring people to things? Kate. I'm not bringing someone. Oliver's nanny is coming. For Oliver, because he's 5 and needs supervision. Sam. Her name is Lily and she's adorable and Kate gets all weird and quiet around her. Kate. I do not get weird and quiet. Valentina. You do a little bit. Kate. Valentina. I trusted you. Valentina. I'm just being honest. She's lovely, Kate. And you clearly care about her. Grace. Okay. I need a physical description immediately. What are we working with? Kate. She's Oliver's nanny. That's the description. That's the whole thing. Sam. She's 26. She's sweet. She's great with Oliver. And Kate bought her a book once because she saw her looking at it in a bookstore. Danny. Oh, Kate. Haley. That's actually really sweet. Kate. It was just a book. People buy books for people. It's a normal thing to do. Grace. Izzy. Babe. Remember when you bought me that novel from the bookstore near your office? The one I'd mentioned wanting months earlier? And you said it reminded you of me? Izzy. Yes? Grace. We were dating. Kate. Okay, I'm muting this chat. Danny. No, come back. We're being supportive. Grace. Very supportive. Haley. Leave her alone. If she says it's just the nanny coming for Oliver, then it's just the nanny coming for Oliver. Sam. Haley. You of all people do not get to play the it's nothing card. You literally told me Danny was just some annoying girl from high school for 2 years before you kissed her in the woods. Haley. That is a gross oversimplification of a very complex emotional journey. Danny. You grabbed me by the collar. Haley. I was making a point. Danny. With your mouth. Haley. Anyway. The trip sounds great. Count us in. Sam. Perfect. So logistics. 3 cabins. Me and Val in 1. Haley and Danny share with Izzy and Grace. Grace. Sleepover with Haley and Danny? Yes, please. I am going to thrive in this cabin. Sam. And Kate, Oliver, and Lily get the 3rd cabin. Family unit. Very natural. Very chill. Kate. Thank you, Sam. That's actually reasonable. Sam. I am always reasonable. Valentina. That's debatable. Sam. Val. We're supposed to be a united front. Valentina. I united with the truth. Izzy. So what's the plan for the week? Skiing? Hiking? Sam. Skiing, snowboarding, hot chocolate, bonfires, snowball fights, and at least one dramatic group dinner where someone spills wine and someone else cries about how much they love everyone. Danny. That last part is going to be you, isn't it? Sam. Probably, but it's also going to be beautiful. Grace. Quick question. Does Lily ski? Kate. She's from Miami. She's never even seen snow. Grace. Danny. Grace. Kate. You're taking a girl who's never seen snow to a cabin in the Canadian mountains? Kate. It's for Oliver. Grace. It's for Oliver. Danny. Sure, Kate. Izzy, I think it's thoughtful. Everyone deserves to see snow for the first time. Grace, see? Even Izzy's being diplomatic about it, which means she also thinks it's romantic. Izzy, I said thoughtful. Grace, same thing when Kate does it. Sam, okay, before Kate actually mutes us. Final head count. Me, Val, Haley, Danny, Izzy, Grace, Kate, Oliver, and Lily. That's 9. 3 cabins, 1 week. Who's excited? Grace. So excited. Danny. Can't wait. Haley. Looking forward to it. Genuinely. Izzy. Same. It's been too long. Valentina. We're ready. Sam's already packing. Sam. I have a system. Kate. I'm looking forward to it too. Sam. She's looking forward to it. The Ice Queen thaws. Kate. The Ice Queen title is reserved for Izzy. Izzy, ? Grace, LOL. Kate. Good night, Sam? Sam. It's 7 a.m. Kate. Good night. It had snowed the night before they arrived. Not much, just enough to dust the rooftops and line the trees. Lily had seen it from the car window first, then pressed her hand flat against the glass like she was trying to get closer. Oliver had noticed and done the same thing beside her, and Kate had watched both of them from the front seat and said nothing. Some moments didn't need commentary. By morning, Grace had her ski boots on before anyone had finished breakfast. She had been talking about the slopes since the car ride up and showed no signs of stopping. The ski lessons were a disaster. Sam had volunteered herself and Danny as co-instructors for Oliver's first time on the bunny slope. Danny had actually skied before. Sam had not, but claimed this was irrelevant because she had great energy. Okay, little man, Sam said, crouching in front of Oliver. Knees bent, arms out. You're a bird. I'm a penguin, Oliver corrected. Even better. Penguins are great at... Sam paused. Actually, penguins can't ski. I can! He pushed off before either of them was ready, barreled straight into Danny, and they both went down in a tangle of skis and laughter. I did it! Oliver announced from the snow. Danny, flat on her back, gave a thumbs up. Natural athlete. From the lodge viewing deck, Valentina and Izzy watched under blankets with hot chocolate. She's going to lose him, Valentina said calmly. She already did, Izzy said. Haley and Grace had taken the harder runs and came back arguing about technique. You were leaning too far forward, Haley said. Grace called across the clearing. Izzy, was I leaning too far forward? Izzy, who hadn't been on the slope, said diplomatically, You looked great. Haley sighed. Kate and Lily had spent the morning on the easier trails, Kate patient and steady, Lily cautious but laughing every time she wobbled. At one point, Lily grabbed Kate's arm to keep from falling. Kate caught her smoothly. Neither of them let go right away. By evening, everyone migrated to Sam and Valentina's cabin. Sam had strung up fairy lights she'd packed in her suitcase. Valentina had made a rustic pasta from whatever the cabin kitchen offered, and everyone ate too much and said so, and then ate more. Oliver had been put to bed an hour earlier, already half asleep from the day. Kate had the baby monitor on the coffee table, green light blinking. The group settled in that easy way that only happens with people who've known each other long enough to stop performing. Danny and Haley on the love seat, Haley's legs across Danny's lap. Izzy on the floor with Grace behind her, absently running fingers through her hair. Sam sprawled in the armchair, Valentina on the armrest beside her. Kate was on the couch. Lily sat beside her. Close but not touching. Sam produced a stack of index cards, a homemade game she called Confessions. Draw a card, answer honestly, or drink. The first few rounds were easy. worst date, most embarrassing moment. But then Grace drew one and read it aloud. What's the moment you knew you were in love? The room went soft. Grace didn't hesitate. She looked at Izzy. The first time was the library, before I even knew your name. You were reading by the window and you looked up at me and I thought, oh no. She paused. And then you were mean to me, and I fell for you again. And then you walked into the lecture hall and I found out you were my lecturer and I fell for you again. And then Sam's party. That's 4 times, Izzy said quietly. I know. You were really committed to making it difficult. Izzy's composure cracked, just a softening at the edges, her hand finding Grace's. Danny went next. She looked at Haley. Not teasing, not smug, just open. The cabin trip. Not when we kissed, before that. You were standing by the lake, arguing with yourself about coming back inside. You didn't know I was watching, and I thought I'd wait forever for her if I had to. Haley's jaw tightened. You never told me that. You never asked. Sam didn't hesitate. The airport. When Val came back from visiting family in Italy and I was holding that sign. It said, "Welcome home, love of my life in glitter," Valentina said. We'd been dating 4 months. And I was right. Look at us now. The card came to Kate. She read it silently, set it face down, picked up her wine. Drink, she said. Sam opened her mouth to protest, but Valentina put a hand on her knee. Sam deflected into a story, and the group moved on. But Lily was looking at Kate, and Kate was looking at the fire. It was nearly midnight when the group drifted apart. Goodbyes were warm. Grace hugged Lily like they'd known each other for years. Danny gave her a quiet, "Glad you're here." Haley squeezed her arm. "Come to game night sometime. We need someone who isn't terrible at cards." Kate and Lily walked back through the snow. The sky had cleared, and there were more stars than Lily had ever seen. "They liked you," Kate said. "You think?" "Haley invited you to game night. She doesn't invite anyone." They reached the cabin porch. Kate opened the door but didn't go in. "Thank you," Lily said, "for including me. I know I'm not part of the group the way they are." "You're here," Kate said. "That makes you part of it." Lily's cheeks were pink from the cold. She was looking at Kate like she was the only steady thing in a world that kept shifting. "We should go inside," Kate said. "It's freezing." They went to their separate rooms. Kate sat on the edge of her bed for a long time, hands clasped, not thinking about the card, not thinking about Lily, not thinking about any of it. She was very, very good at doing the right thing. It just never seemed to get any easier. Sam and Danny had taught Oliver the basics the day before. Apparently, that was enough. By the time they reached the bottom of the slope today, he was already coaching Lily, explaining very seriously that the trick was to think like a penguin. Lily had no idea what that meant. Oliver didn't elaborate. He did, however, cheer loudly every time she made it more than 10 seconds without falling, which was, she had to admit, more motivating than it had any right to be. The other girls had gone to après-ski straight from the slopes. Sam had announced it loudly before anyone could argue. Kate, Lily, and Oliver had stayed in instead, made dinner, and watched The Land Before Time, which Oliver had seen enough times to quietly mouth along to half the lines. He was asleep before the ending. Kate carried him to bed. When she came back, Lily was already in the kitchen, gathering dishes. Kate picked up a dish towel and stayed. It was Lily who noticed the snow first. "Kate!" Something in her voice made Kate look up. Lily was standing by the window, dish towel still in her hands, staring outside. "Look." Kate crossed the room. It was snowing again, but not like before. This was different. softer, the kind of snowfall that blanketed everything in minutes, that turned the world silent and strange and new. The clearing between the cabins had disappeared under a layer of white. The trees were draped in it, and the sky was a low, luminous gray that seemed to glow from within. "I want to go outside," Lily said. It was not a request or a question. It sounded like something pulling her forward. Kate looked at her. "It's freezing." "I know. You'll get soaked." "I know." Lily turned to her, her eyes bright and glinting, a faint sparkle catching in them. "Please." Kate exhaled. "Let me get your coat." They stepped outside. The cold was immediate and total, pressing into their lungs and making every breath feel sharp and clean. Snow fell around them in thick, unhurried flakes, catching in Lily's hair and on the shoulders of the navy coat, clinging to Kate's eyelashes when she looked up. Lily walked to the center of the clearing. She tipped her head back, arms slightly open, and stood there, letting it fall on her without moving or speaking. Kate stayed on the porch, watching. She had seen Lily watch snow for the first time from the car window, from a distance. This was different. Lily stood in it, surrounded by it, and the expression on her face was no longer simple wonder. It was something deeper, something that looked like coming home to a place you had never been. Lily turned. Snowflakes drifted between them, caught in the light from the cabin windows. "Come here," she said. Kate stepped off the porch and into the snow. They stood a few feet apart. The world was quiet, no wind, no sound from the other cabins, only the steady hush of snow falling on snow. "It's like being inside a snow globe," Lily said softly. "Except you're in it. You're actually in it." "Yeah," Kate said. She was not looking at the snow. Lily noticed. "You're not even looking at it." "No," Kate admitted. "I'm not." Something in the air shifted, as it had been shifting for weeks, for months. Now it felt settled, like a decision made. "Kate," Lily began. "Do you remember that movie?" Kate asked quietly. "The terrible one with the rain." Lily's lips parted. "The one where they kiss in the rain. You said it was dramatic, that no one stands in the rain just to confess feelings." "I remember." "You said no one does that." Lily's breath came faster, visible in the cold. "What are you saying?" Kate took a step closer. Snow settled on both of them, catching in Lily's lashes, melting against Kate's cheeks. "I'm saying it's not rain," Kate said, "but it's close enough." She kissed her. It was not dramatic, not the way it happens in movies with swelling music and practiced certainty. It was careful and tentative. Kate's cold hand found Lily's jaw and held it as if she were unsure she was allowed to. Lily went still, the way someone does when something longed for finally arrives, and they are afraid to break it. For a moment, they did not move. Then Lily kissed her back. Neither of them pulled away. Kate had half expected to, had assumed there would be a step back and a breath and words. But she did not want the cold air between them again. She did not want distance. They had lived in that distance for months, in careful positioning, in glances that lingered a second too long, in hands that found reasons to be elsewhere. Lily's fingers curled into the front of Kate's jacket, not pulling her closer or pushing her away, just holding. Kate's hand slid from her jaw to the back of her neck. Lily exhaled against her mouth, shaky and soft, as though she had been holding that breath for a long time. The snow kept falling. When they finally parted, it was only slightly. Lily's forehead rested against Kate's. They stayed that way, breathing the same cold air, eyes closed. Lily's hands were still twisted in Kate's jacket. Kate had not let go of her. They stood there without speaking. The silence no longer felt careful or managed. It felt full. "Kate," Lily said at last, her voice unsteady in a way Kate had never heard. Yeah, that was... She let out a small breath. That was dramatic. Kate laughed, surprised by the sound of it. Was it? Lily's breath brushed her skin. Half laugh, half something softer. I didn't want to stop, Lily said quietly. Kate drew back just enough to look at her. Lily's eyes were bright, her cheeks pink from the cold, snowflakes caught in her hair. She looked like someone who had run a long way and found somewhere worth arriving. Then don't, Kate said. Lily kissed her again. When they pulled apart this time, they stayed close, foreheads nearly touching, their breath rising in small white clouds that mingled and faded. I'm freezing. Kate took in the sight of her, snow-dusted and pink-cheeked, smiling in a way that made her chest tighten and expand all at once. Yeah, Kate said. Me too. We should go inside, Lily said. Probably. Lily laughed, bright and shaky, and Kate kissed her again, brief but certain. Then they went inside. The cabin was warm. The monitor showed Oliver still asleep in his bed. They stood in the kitchen, dripping snow onto the floor, and looked at each other in the light. So, Lily said. So, Kate replied. What happens now? Kate thought about Oliver, about the power dynamic she had agonized over, about every reason she had kept her distance and how none of them felt as heavy as Lily's hand in hers. I don't know, Kate said honestly, but I know I don't want to go back to pretending. Me neither. And I know it's complicated. Oliver and the job and... Kate? Yeah? We can figure it out tomorrow. Kate held her gaze for a long moment. Then her shoulders lowered, months of tension easing out in a single breath. Yeah, she said. Okay. Lily squeezed her hand, then let go slowly. She walked to the hallway and paused there, turning back. Good night, Kate. Kate crossed the small distance between them before she could overthink it. She touched Lily's arm, leaned in, and pressed a soft kiss to her cheek. It was gentle and lingering, warmer than the air between them had any right to be. Good night, Lily. Lily's breath caught in a quiet laugh, her hand brushing briefly against Kate's wrist as if to steady herself. She smiled at her, bright and certain, and then slipped into her room, closing the door softly behind her. Kate looked at herself in the mirror as she brushed her teeth. One part of her was cheering her on, screaming finally for kissing Lily. She watched her own smile curling upward and couldn't stop it. That was probably the Lilly Hill effect. There was another part of her, though, the serious part. The one she kept waiting on to show up and ask her what the hell she was doing. The dread. But it never came. She went to bed and couldn't wait to wake up tomorrow. Around 7, she heard Oliver's feet hit the loft floor, then a small, determined march to Lily's room. A whispered negotiation through the door, then both of them padding into the kitchen together, conspiring in hushed voices that weren't hushed at all. When Kate finally walked in, she found Oliver standing on a step stool with flour on his pajamas, concentrating on a pancake that was shaped like something he tried very hard to explain was a heart. A dinosaur heart, specifically, because, as he informed her with great authority, dinosaurs were better than regular love. Lily stood beside him in the cabin's too big apron, guiding his hand on the spatula. As Oliver launched into the secret recipe, her eyes lifted and found Kate's over his head. She looked nervous, hopeful, a little bit scared. Kate smiled at her, and she watched Lily's whole body relax. They ate. Oliver talked endlessly about the new tricks he wanted to learn on skis. Then a knock came. Sam's and Izzy's voices carrying through the door, saying soft good mornings and asking if there was someone in here who wanted to build an igloo. Oliver was off his chair and rushing to his room to get dressed before Kate could even open her mouth. Bye, Mom. Bye, Lily, he shouted, and the door slammed behind him. The cabin went quiet. Kate and Lily sat across from each other at the breakfast table, alone for the first time since last night. The silence wasn't uncomfortable, just new, like they were both standing at the edge of something neither of them quite knew how to start. After a moment, Lily got up and began stacking plates. Kate reached for the glasses. They moved around each other the way they always did, except now every brush of fingers felt like it meant something. So, Kate said, placing the glasses by the sink. So, Lily echoed, not looking at her, biting back a smile. Kate leaned against the counter and folded her arms. Did you sleep well? Lily mirrored her, arms crossed, shoulder against the opposite counter, that same small smile pulling at the corner of her mouth. I slept great, actually. Got a really sweet goodnight kiss. Kate's ears went pink. She reached for her coffee cup like it might save her. Oh, did you? Mm-hmm. She kissed me in the snow like we were in a movie and then once more right before I went to my room. Sounds very romantic, Kate said, dropping her voice into that low, teasing tone she saved for when she wanted to watch Lily squirm. Very, Lily said, and her cheeks flushed, but she held Kate's gaze. She was grinning now, teasing and light on the surface, but underneath it something real and tentative, like she was testing the edges of this new thing to see if it would hold. I see, Kate said. And how would you react if this mysterious woman kissed you good morning? I would be very happy. Kate set her coffee down, crossed the kitchen in 3 steps, and stopped right in front of her. She tilted Lily's chin up with her fingers and kissed her. Gentle, soft, easy. No urgency in it at all, just warmth. The kind of kiss that said good morning, and I've been wanting to do this since I opened my eyes all at once. When she pulled back, Lily's hand was still on her arm. There, Kate said. Good morning. She settled against the counter beside Lily, their shoulders touching, and the quiet came back. Different now. Warm. Charged with something that finally had permission to exist. Kate? I can't believe this is happening. Kate turned her head. What do you mean? Lily's fingers found the rim of her mug, tracing it slowly. The same nervous gesture Kate had memorized months ago without meaning to. I mean, you. This. You kissing me. You wanting to kiss me. She said it like she was describing something impossible. You're you, Kate. You're brilliant and put together, and you run a company and you're raising this incredible kid, and you look like... She gestured vaguely at all of Kate. That. And I'm just... Don't. The word came out sharper than Kate intended because something had cracked open in her chest. She turned to face Lily fully. Do you know what I see when I look at you? Lily didn't answer. I see someone who makes my son laugh harder than anyone in the world. Someone who leaves coffee on the counter for me every morning without being asked. Someone who reads on the couch with her knees pulled up and hums songs she doesn't even know she's humming. Her voice softened. I see the only person in so many years who's made me want something I was too scared to want. Lily's eyes went bright, and Kate could see her fighting to hold it together. And for the record, Kate added, drier now, you should be the one wondering what a kind, sweet 26-year-old with her whole life ahead of her is doing with an emotionally stunted... Me. Lily shook her head slowly, her voice quiet but sure. You're the most incredible person I've ever met, Kate. And I'm not just saying that. You make me feel safe. You make me feel seen. Nobody's ever done that for me before. Kate opened her mouth to argue, because that was her whole thing. That was what she always did, but nothing came out. Lily was looking at her with such open, steady certainty that the words just dissolved before they reached her tongue. Outside, Oliver was shrieking with laughter. Sam was shouting something about structural integrity. Izzy's voice floated over, calm and measured, explaining that the igloo needed a better foundation. Kate and Lily stayed in the kitchen a while longer, not talking, not needing to, just kissing every good morning they'd never let themselves have, their coffee going cold. The last evening at the cabin came with the kind of light that made everything look golden and borrowed. Sam had demanded one final snowball fight, and nobody had the heart to say no. It was messy and loud, and exactly what they all needed. Haley and Danny moving together like a military unit, Grace pelting everyone in range while narrating her own performance, Izzy retaliating with devastating accuracy whenever anyone got too close to her book. Oliver switched teams 4 times and declared himself the winner regardless. When it was over, the group drifted back toward the cabins in 2s and 3s, snow in their hair, cheeks raw from the cold. As Lily and Oliver walked ahead, Oliver bouncing beside her, recounting every snowball he'd thrown like a war hero, Lily turned back and caught Kate's eye. It was a quick smile, warm and private, the kind of look nobody else would have noticed. Kate returned it. Valentina, walking beside her, noticed anyway. "You seem lighter," she said, her eyes still forward. Kate didn't have the energy to deny it anymore. "She's good for you," Valentina said simply. "I think so too," Kate replied. Valentina didn't push further. She never did. She just squeezed Kate's arm gently and walked ahead to find Sam, who was attempting to carry Oliver on her shoulders while Grace filmed it. That night, they all crowded into the main cabin for one last dinner. Valentina had used up every scrap left in the kitchen and somehow turned it into something wonderful. Roasted vegetables, bread, cheese, and a soup that made Sam declare she was emotionally compromised. The table was loud. Danny was telling the story of the time she and Haley got lost on a road trip and ended up at a gas station wedding, and Haley kept interrupting to correct the details. Grace was trying to make Izzy eat blue cheese while Izzy held firm that she'd rather die. Sam had Oliver on her lap and was teaching him to say, "I love you," in Italian, which Valentina found both charming and phonetically criminal. Tomorrow they'd scatter back to their lives. Different cities, different routines, different versions of themselves. But tonight they were here, and the noise and the warmth and the wine made it easy to forget that it was ending. Kate looked around the table at these people she loved. This strange, loud, broken, beautiful family she'd somehow built, and the thought hit her quietly. Lily leaned over beside her and whispered, "You okay?" "Yeah," Kate said, and looked at her. "Really okay." Later, while the others packed, Kate found Lily standing alone on the cabin porch, staring out at the mountains. "Trying to memorize it," Lily said without turning around. Kate stepped out and stood beside her. The air was cold and still, and the mountains were enormous in the fading light. It was peaceful here, deeply, stubbornly peaceful, and Kate hadn't realized until this exact moment how badly she'd needed that. "Kate," Lily said, still looking ahead, "when we get back, are you going to be different?" "What do you mean?" "This feels safe because it's away from everything. But when we're home, when I'm the nanny again..." She stopped herself, then started over, quieter. "I need to know you're not going to panic and pretend this didn't happen." Kate turned to face her. "I'm going to be terrified. I'm going to overthink everything. I'm probably going to be weird about it for at least a week." Lily's face fell, and Kate saw the exact moment the hope left her eyes. "But I'm not going to pretend," Kate said. "That's the one thing I can promise you. I'm done pretending." Lily searched her face, really searched it, like she was looking for the catch, and whatever she found there must have been enough, because she exhaled slowly and let the anxiety she'd been carrying all day go with it. "Okay." Kate took her hand, lifted it, and pressed her lips against Lily's knuckles. "I promise," she said. The goodbyes were chaotic, as always. Sam cried. Haley also cried, briefly, furiously, wiping her eyes with her sleeve and insisting it was the cold while Danny rubbed her back and didn't say a word. Grace hugged every person individually and at length, providing personalized commentary as she went. Danny was cooler than she had any right to be. Kate was loved even though she was terrifying. Oliver was her favorite human under 4 feet. Izzy hugged Kate harder than she ever had before. And then turned to Lily and said quietly, "Take care of them." Lily blinked twice before answering. "I will." Izzy gave a small, satisfied smile and went to collect Grace, who had wandered off to hug the snowman. Sam was last. She pulled Kate into a hug so tight Kate's spine cracked. "Don't be an idiot. You say that every time." "Because you keep almost being one." Sam pulled back and held Kate's face in both hands. "You deserve this. You know that, right?" Kate's throat tightened. "I'm working on it." "Work faster." Sam kissed her forehead, then turned and pulled Lily into a hug too. "Welcome to the family. It's loud, we're all a bit broken, but we're excellent at group chats." Kate drove. Lily sat beside her. Neither of them spoke for a while, and they didn't need to. The mountains were shrinking in the rearview mirror, and there was something worth protecting in the quiet, the last stretch of the trip where they were still in it, still away, still the versions of themselves who'd kissed in the snow. After about 20 minutes, Lily glanced over. "You're doing the thing." "What thing?" "The thing where you grip the steering wheel too hard and think too loudly." "I don't think loudly." "You absolutely do. You're making a list right now. Things we need to figure out. The job, what we tell Oliver, boundaries and stuff." Lily reached over and placed her hand on Kate's on the steering wheel. "We'll take it day by day, okay? One thing at a time." "That's hard for me." "It's hard for me, too. But we have time." Kate turned her hand over, laced their fingers together, and held on for the rest of the drive. They landed after dark. The apartment was exactly the way they'd left it. Oliver's toys scattered across the living room floor, Kate's laptop on the kitchen counter, Lily's book face down on the couch where she'd abandoned it a week ago. Kate carried Oliver to his room and tucked him in. He surfaced just long enough to mumble, "Can we go back to the snow?" "Someday, buddy." "With Lily?" Kate smoothed his hair back from his forehead. "With Lily." He was asleep before she left the room. She found Lily in the kitchen, filling the kettle, and the sight of it hit Kate harder than it should have because it was so familiar, so perfectly ordinary. How many nights had they done exactly this? The quiet apartment, the low light, Lily with her back turned, the kettle humming between them. Except now Kate could walk up behind her and not have to stop herself. "Chamomile?" Lily asked, not turning around. "Please." Lily turned. Kate was already there, closer than expected, closer than she'd ever let herself stand in this kitchen before. Or maybe she had. Maybe this was exactly how close she'd always stood, and it had always felt like this, and she'd just never let herself call it what it was. Lily didn't step back. Kate kissed her, softer than the snow, warmer than any cup of tea ever could be. "No more pretending?" Lily said. "No more pretending." "I know we said day by day," Kate said, "but I'd really like to take you out on Friday. Properly. Just us." Lily looked up at her. "Like a date?" "Like a date." The smile that broke across Lily's face was the kind she couldn't have hidden if she'd tried. "I would love that." Kate reached over and stole a sip of her chamomile. "Good." Elise arrived at 4 on the dot. She always did. Not a personality quirk so much as a fact of nature, the kind of woman time simply chose not to inconvenience. She had her sunglasses already off by the time Kate opened the door, as though she'd timed that too. "There he is," she said, and Oliver launched himself at her before she'd fully crossed the threshold. "Mom, can we go to the pizza place? The one with the checkerboard floor?" "Already booked." Oliver made a noise of pure vindication and immediately began telling her about the ski trip, the bunny slope, Sam falling before he did, the igloo that kept collapsing, the stars he'd seen from the cabin porch. He told it the way he told all his best stories, looping back, skipping the middle, starting 3 sentences at once. Elise followed without missing a step, asking exactly the right questions at exactly the right moments, the way someone does when they've had years of practice with a particular kind of chaos. Lily stayed near the kitchen doorway, not hiding exactly, just giving them space. Kate handled the handover efficiently, the backpack, the water bottle, a brief mention that he'd had a big lunch. She was calm about it in the way she always was with Elise now. No performance in either direction. "He finished a whole chapter book this week," Lily offered, because Oliver had spotted her and was already looking expectant. "The one about deep sea creatures. He's been telling everyone about anglerfish." Oliver nodded with great solemnity. "They are deeply misunderstood." Elise laughed, warm and unguarded, and glanced at Lily with something appreciative before turning back to Oliver. "Go grab your dinosaur, Bug. Only one, not all of them." He thundered off down the hall. The room settled into the particular quiet of 3 adults who all know each other in different ways. Elise adjusted the bag on her shoulder, unhurried. "He seems happier," she said, to Kate. "He is," Kate said. Elise smiled then. Genuine, no edge to it. Her gaze moved briefly to Lily, then back to Kate, and she tilted her head slightly. "You look happier too." She glanced at Lily once more, then back. "It suits you." Kate held her gaze for a moment. Something passed between them. Old and uncomplicated. "Thank you," Kate said quietly. Oliver reappeared at a full sprint, toy in hand, and the moment dissolved cleanly. He hugged Lily and Kate around the middle on his way to the door. "Bye, Lily. Bye, Mom." "Bye, buddy. Have the best time." "I will." Already pulling Elise toward the elevator. "Can we get dessert too? Mom said maybe, but maybe usually means yes if I don't ask too many times." The door closed behind them. The apartment exhaled. Lily stayed where she was for a moment, listening to the quiet settle. "She noticed," she said. Kate turned from the door. "She always does." There was no tension in it, just a fact. "Does that bother you?" "No," Kate said and meant it. She walked into the kitchen and reached for the kettle, easy and unhurried. "Not anymore." She looked at Lily, openly, the way she had started doing recently, without the careful composure she used to wear like a second layer of clothing. "Are you nervous?" Kate asked. "About tomorrow." Lily leaned against the doorframe. "A little." "Good," Kate said, not looking up from the kettle. Lily laughed softly. "Good? Means it matters to you." Neither of them said anything for a second. Then Lily pushed off the doorframe. "I'm heading out to the store," she said. "Okay," Kate replied. She was almost down the hall when Kate said, without turning around, "Wear something warm. The place I'm thinking of is close to the water." Lily stopped. She pressed her lips together so Kate wouldn't hear her smiling. "Okay." "Okay," Kate said. Kate hadn't told her where they were going, and Lily hadn't asked. She followed her down a side street she didn't recognize, past a row of quiet buildings, until Kate slowed in front of a door with no sign and pushed it open like she'd done it 100 times. The inside was small and warm, candlelit, the kind of place that felt like a secret. But then the host led them through and out onto a terrace at the back, and Lily stopped walking for just a second. The water was right there, dark and wide, the city reflected in it, lights moving on the surface. A few other tables, far enough apart to feel private. The air was cold, but still. "You knew I'd like this," Lilly said. Kate sat down across from her. "I had a feeling." The host set down their menus with a quiet smile. He said something to Kate in a low voice. Something about the fish, a new addition. He thought she'd enjoy it. Kate thanked him by name. He left without any fuss. Lilly watched this and then looked back at Kate, who was reading the menu with the same expression she wore reading contracts. "Sometimes I forget," Lilly said. Kate looked up. "Forget what?" "That you're kind of a big deal, out there, in the actual world." She nodded vaguely toward the restaurant, the city beyond the water. "And then someone talks to you like that and I remember." "Like what?" "Like they're genuinely glad you walked in." Kate glanced back down at her menu. "The fish is supposed to be good tonight, apparently." Lilly watched her for a second, the corner of her mouth pulling up. "Whatever you say, Ms. West." Kate looked up. "Don't." "I'm not doing anything." They ordered. The wine arrived first, and Kate tipped her glass slightly toward Lilly before she drank. Nothing ceremonial, just a small, quiet acknowledgement. And Lilly felt the warmth of it settle somewhere in her chest. It was easier than she'd expected. She had spent the whole week bracing for it to feel significant in some overwhelming way. All those months of wanting this, finally out in the open. But sitting across from Kate with wine and water and candlelight, it just felt like them. Like every other evening that had somehow become her favorite part of the day, except now neither of them had to pretend it was nothing. The cabin came up. The book came up. The one Kate had bought her months ago, which Lilly had finished in 2 sittings and thought about for days after. "You cried at the end," Kate said. "You knew I would." Lilly pointed at her. "Don't pretend you didn't." Kate smiled and said nothing, which was basically a confession. "You go very still when something gets to you," Kate said after a moment, like she was continuing a thought she'd been having quietly. "I noticed it a while ago. I kept wondering if the book would do it." Lilly looked at her. "And?" "And I was right." Kate picked up her wine. "I usually am." "You are so—" Lilly started. "I know," Kate said. "You've told me." Lilly laughed and Kate smiled into her glass. The water moved quietly beside them. Somewhere inside, behind the glass, a table was celebrating something. Neither of them looked. "Can I ask you something?" Lilly said. "You're going to anyway." Lilly turned her wine glass slowly by the stem. "That first day, when I showed up at your door." She kept her eyes on the glass. "Was there anything then? Or is that me being completely delusional?" Kate set her glass down. She looked at Lilly with the particular steadiness she had, the look that meant she was choosing honesty over comfort. "There was something," she said. "I didn't name it, but it was there." Lilly let out a slow breath. "You were standing in my hallway with your suitcase," Kate said, "looking like you were terrified and trying very hard not to show it." She paused, just to find the words. "And I thought, I'm going to have to be careful with this one. Because I was nervous? Because I wasn't." The table between them felt suddenly very small. Lilly reached for her wine. Kate watched her with that almost smile, the one that meant she was entirely aware of what she'd just done. "You could have just said yes," Lilly said. "I know." Kate picked up her glass. "But this answer is better." Lilly laughed, and Kate smiled, and for a moment everything else fell away. The other tables, the city lights on the water, the cold air. And there was just this. The two of them, finally sitting across from each other without anything in the way. They took a cab home. The city scrolled past the windows, all lit amber and moving. Lilly was very aware of how close they were sitting. Kate was looking out the window, her hand resting on the seat between them, not quite touching Lily's. Lily turned her hand over, palm up. Kate looked down at it. Then she laced their fingers together without a word and didn't let go for the rest of the ride. Kate dropped her keys in the tray, slipped off her heels, and padded toward the living room, turning on the lamp as she passed. "Do you want to watch something?" she asked, reaching for the remote. Lily gave herself 3 more seconds to be sensible about it. Then she crossed the room, and Kate was just beginning to turn, remote in hand, completely unsuspecting, when Lily kissed her. The remote landed somewhere on the couch. Kate went still for half a second. Not surprise, just the sharp recalibration of someone whose body has finally gotten what it's been wanting for a very long time. Her free hand found Lily's waist immediately, fingers pressing in like a reflex. Lily pulled back. Her heart was going insane. "Sorry, I've wanted to do that all evening." Kate looked at her. "You have absolutely nothing to be sorry about." She kissed her back, and Lily inhaled sharply and grabbed the front of Kate's coat with both hands. Kate walked her backward toward the windows until Lily's shoulders met the cool glass with a soft thud, the entire city spread out behind her in a sea of lights and distant motion. Kate kissed her like she'd been waiting for it all evening, maybe longer. Lily forgot what room they were in. Kate's mouth moved to her jaw, her throat. Lily's head tipped back against the glass and she felt Kate smile against her neck. And she dug her fingers into Kate's shoulders and pulled her closer instead of saying anything about it. "Kate." "I know," Kate murmured against her skin. She pulled back just enough to look at her. Lily standing there with flushed cheeks and uneven breathing, and her eyes bright with something hungry and completely unguarded. The city lights scattered across the glass behind her, spilling over her hair and shoulders. They were high enough up that no one could see them, and Kate was aware of this, and also aware that some ridiculous part of her almost wished that weren't true, wished the whole city could look up and see exactly where she was standing and who she was standing with. She had wanted her for months, quietly, carefully, and now, not carefully at all. Lily kissed her again, deep and slow, one hand sliding up into her hair. Kate made a sound that did something catastrophic to Lily's ability to think, fingers tightening at her hips, and Lily thought distantly that she had imagined this so many times in her room on the other side of that wall, and she had never once imagined it feeling like this specific, this much. When they finally broke apart, they were both breathing like they'd forgotten how to do it properly. Lily looked up at her, at the messy hair and the flushed cheeks and the expression Kate West did not let people see. And she felt the words come up before she could decide whether to say them. "I want to be yours tonight." Kate looked at her for just a second, long enough for Lily to see it, the want she'd been sitting on for months, and right next to it, the restraint. She'd hoped. She hadn't pushed. And now that Lily had closed that last inch herself, Kate was done holding back. "Good," Kate said quietly, and kissed her again. And it was, at last, the night they'd both been quietly yearning for. Lily woke up warm, not just comfortable. Warm in the way that only happens when someone else's body is fitted against yours, when the heat between you has had all night to build into something heavy and golden. Kate's arm was draped across her waist, her breathing slow and even against the back of Lily's neck. Lily didn't move. The curtains were letting in thin strips of early light. The apartment was quiet in that particular morning way. No Oliver, no alarm, nothing pulling either of them anywhere. Kate's fingers twitched against her stomach, still asleep, which made Lily smile at nothing. This was real. Kate's bed, Kate's sheets, Kate's arm around her like she'd done it 1,000 times, like muscle memory from a life they hadn't lived yet. Lily could feel the press of Kate's collarbone against her shoulder blade, the slow rise of her chest. After a while, Lily shifted, carefully, trying to slip out without waking Kate. She barely made it an inch before Kate's arm tightened. "No," Kate mumbled, her voice rough with sleep. She pulled Lily back against her. "Stay." Lily laughed softly. "I was going to make coffee." "Coffee can wait." Kate pressed her face into the curve of Lily's neck. "Let's just stay here. You don't strike me as a lie-in-bed person." "I'm not." Kate's lips grazed the spot just below her ear. "You're a bad influence." Lily settled back into her. "I can live with that." They lay there for a while with Kate's thumb tracing absent circles against Lily's hip, and Lily closed her eyes and let herself have it. The intimate stillness of it all. The memories of last night. The particular luxury of being held by someone who was choosing to hold you. Something loosened in her chest. The naive, fragile kind of contentment that makes you believe, just for a moment, that everything is going to be okay. That it's all going to stay exactly like this. "What time is it?" Kate asked eventually. "No idea." "Helpful. You told me to stay. Staying doesn't involve checking the time." Kate exhaled a laugh against her shoulder. "Fair." Then Lily's stomach growled loudly. Kate went still behind her. Then her shoulders started shaking. "Don't," Lily warned. "I didn't say anything." "I can feel you laughing." Kate buried her face in Lily's hair, fully laughing now. "That was extraordinary. If Oliver were here, he'd think there was a dinosaur in the bedroom." "I hate you." "You don't." Kate pressed a kiss to her shoulder and sat up, hair falling across her face. "I'll make breakfast." Lily rolled onto her back and looked up at her. Kate in the morning light, bare shoulders, messy hair, the kind of unguarded expression she never wore in front of anyone else. Kate caught her staring as she held Lily's gaze for a second, then winked. Lily looked immediately at the ceiling. "I'll help," she said, starting to sit up. Kate put a hand on her shoulder and pushed her gently back down. "Absolutely not. Stay here. I'll bring it to you." "Kate, stay." "You know I'm not Oliver, right?" Kate's mouth twitched. "Yes, because Oliver listens the first time." Lily threw a pillow at her. Kate caught it without blinking, grinning, and glanced toward the window where the morning light was coming in pale and clear. "What if we just went out?" she said. "It's sunny outside and there's a place 2 streets over." Lily looked at her. "You just told me to stay in bed." "I changed my mind. I'm allowed to change my mind." "That is so—" Lily stopped. "Fine. Yes, let's go." Kate smiled and went to find her clothes. The restaurant was small and bright, tucked between a dry cleaner and a bookshop. Lily ordered the eggs Benedict. Kate ordered black coffee and an omelet, then stole a piece of Lily's buttered toast. "That's mine," Lily protested. "You'll survive." They ate in comfortable quiet, stealing glances like they hadn't just spent the night and morning in the same bed, like looking was still new enough to be a thrill. Knees brushing under the table. Kate set down her coffee. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "I remember you telling me, early on, one of our first conversations, that you dropped out of university. That it wasn't for you, but everyone back home expected you to have a plan." Kate turned her coffee cup slowly on the table. "I've been wondering if that's changed at all, if you've thought about going back." Lily looked up, surprised. It had been a while since Kate had brought this up. Months, maybe, since that conversation at the cafe downtown. "Sometimes. I think about it. But I still don't know what I'd go back for, and that feels like a pretty important detail. Otherwise, I'd just drop out again." "It is important." Kate tilted her head. "But it doesn't have to be figured out all at once. From the stories, it sounds like you had it all figured out at my age. And sometimes I think I was too hard on myself." Lily pushed a piece of egg around her plate. "It's not even the going back part that scares me. It's the not knowing where to start. Like, How do you figure out what you want when you don't even know what the options are? Kate was quiet for a second. I know someone. A career counselor. She's worked with a few people at my company, people making mid-career pivots. She's good. She doesn't just hand you a list of jobs. She helps you figure out what actually fits. Lily's fork paused midair. Kate, you don't have to. I know I don't. I mean it. Lily's voice was quieter now. You don't have to set things up for me. Kate gave her a look, the one that was half patience, half quiet stubbornness. I'm not trying to fix anything. I just think you'd benefit from a conversation with someone whose entire job is asking the right questions. That's all. Lily held her gaze for a moment, then looked back down at her plate. You'd really set that up? You know I will. Then Lily grinned, nudging Kate's foot under the table. Wait, are you trying to get rid of me? Kate looked up. What? Sending me off to a career counselor, encouraging me to find my path. Lily was teasing, but there was a real question underneath it. You're plotting my exit strategy right after we spent the night together. Kate's expression shifted, amusement giving way to something more serious. Honestly, it would be a lot less complicated if the woman I'm dating wasn't also working for me. The words landed between them. Lily's fork went still. Oh? A slow smile started forming on her lips. Dating? Kate's eyes narrowed slightly. Don't start, Lily. No, I just want to make sure I heard Miss Kate West right. Dating? What would you call it? I don't know. I'm just noting that you chose that word, specifically. Kate leaned back, arms crossing loosely. That defensive posture she defaulted to when she was caught off guard and trying not to show it. I mean, seeing each other, whatever the right word is. She gestured vaguely between them. It's hard to know what to call it when you're also technically living together, that's not a normal starting point for. She stopped. I'm making this worse, aren't I? A little, Lily agreed. She was trying very hard not to enjoy this too much. But keep going. Kate gave her a look. What I'm saying is that the vocabulary for our situation is limited. Our situation, Lily repeated. Yes, Lily. Our situation. Right. The teasing faded. Kate met her eyes, something softer and more serious settling into her expression, not closed off, but careful in a way that lingered. I guess we have to talk about it properly, don't we? It wasn't quite a question, and they both knew it. Lily met her gaze across the small table, morning light pooling at the window, the city moving steadily outside. I think we do, she said. They didn't talk about it on the walk home. They walked close, shoulders brushing, talking about nothing. The weather, a dog they passed, what Oliver was probably getting up to with Elise. Both of them circling the thing they'd agreed to talk about and not quite landing on it. It wasn't until they were back inside the apartment, shoes off, coats hung, the quiet pressing in, that the lightness ran out of road. Kate leaned against the kitchen counter. Lily sat on the stool across from her. The same positions they'd been in 100 times before, except now everything underneath them had changed. So, Lily said. Kate almost smiled. This is harder when it's not hypothetical. Yeah. Lily pulled her sleeves over her hands. It is. Kate looked down at the counter for a moment, gathering something. When she looked up again, the lightness was gone. I pay you, she said. I provide your housing. I set your schedule. I decide when you have time off. She said it plainly, not to be cruel, just to lay it out. That's not a relationship between equals. That's an arrangement where I hold all the power, and you hold none. Lily was quiet. And I know that sounds clinical, Kate continued. But it matters, because if we're going to do this, really do this, I need to know that you're here because you want to be, not because you don't have anywhere else to go. The words hung in the kitchen. Lily's jaw tightened. Not anger. Something closer to hurt. Is that what you think? That I'm here because I'm stuck? No, that's not what I... Because I could leave, Kate. I could have left months ago. I stayed because of Oliver. And because of you. Not because I didn't have options. I know that. Do you? Because it sounds like you're saying I can't make my own choices while I'm living under your roof. Kate opened her mouth, then closed it. Lily watched her recalibrate. Watched the precise moment Kate realized she'd done the thing again. Tried to protect Lily by deciding what Lily needed protecting from. You're right, Kate said quietly. I'm sorry. That came out wrong. It didn't come out wrong. It came out honest. Lily's voice softened. And you're not wrong about the power thing. You're just wrong about what to do with it. Kate looked at her. What do you mean? I mean, you keep trying to solve this by yourself, like it's your problem to fix. But it's our problem. Both of ours. Lily unfolded her hands on the counter. You can't fix a power imbalance by being the one who decides how to fix it. That's just more of the same thing. Kate stared at her for a long moment. Then she exhaled. Not a sigh. More like something she'd been holding for a long time finally leaving her body. When did you get so good at this? Kate said. I'm not good at this. I'm terrified. Lily's voice was steady, but her hands weren't. But I'm also not going to sit here and let you talk yourself out of something we both want because you're scared of the optics. It's not about optics. Then what is it about? It's about making sure that when you're with me, it's because you chose it, freely, without any part of you wondering whether saying no would cost you your home. The honesty of it landed somewhere deep in Lily's chest. Okay, Lily said, so let's fix that. Kate blinked. What? The job, the nanny thing. Lily sat up straighter. I'll stop. Not tomorrow. Oliver needs a transition and we should figure out the details. But I don't want to be your employee anymore, Kate. I want to be your... She hesitated, searching for the word. Girlfriend? Kate offered. Very quietly. Lily looked at her. Yeah, that. The silence that followed was different, lighter, like something had been set down. There are logistics, Kate said, because she was Kate, and she couldn't help herself. I know. Where you'd live, how we'd handle the transition with Oliver, whether we bring in someone new or... Kate. What? We don't have to solve all of it right now. Kate closed her mouth, opened it again, closed it. Lily reached across the counter and took her hand. Here's what I know. I don't want to be your nanny. I want to be with you, and I want to figure the rest out together. Not you figuring it out and telling me the plan. Kate looked down at their hands. Her thumb moved over Lily's knuckles. Slow, careful, the same way she did everything that mattered. Together, she repeated, like she was testing the weight of it. Together. Kate nodded. Then, you realize this means I have to find a new nanny. Tragic. Oliver's going to put them through hell. He absolutely is. Kate's mouth curved. That slow, reluctant smile that Lily had spent months learning to earn. Okay. Okay? Okay, we'll figure it out. Together. She paused. But I'm still calling the career counselor. Lily laughed, bright and surprised and relieved. Fine. And you're still living here, for now, until we work out the details. Kate, I'm not moving out tomorrow. Good, because I just got used to you being on that side of the bed. Lily squeezed her hand. The apartment was quiet around them. Oliver's toys still scattered in the living room, the city humming beyond the windows, the morning light shifting across the counter between them. Nothing was solved, not really. But something had been decided, and for the first time, they'd decided it together. Sunday was quiet in the way only empty apartments can be. Oliver wasn't back from Elise's until Monday afternoon, and the hours stretched out in front of them like something borrowed, a whole day with nowhere to be and no one to perform for. Lily slept in Kate's bed again. Neither of them discussed it. It just happened. Lily brushing her teeth while Kate read, then sliding under the covers like she'd always been there. Kate turned off the lamp without comment. In the dark, Lily found her hand. They woke up tangled together, Lily's head on Kate's chest, Kate's arm around her like she'd put it there on purpose, and neither of them moved, until Kate's phone alarm went off for no reason. "Why do you have an alarm set for Sunday?" Lily mumbled into Kate's shoulder. "Force of habit." "Turn it off." "It's off." "Set it on fire." Kate laughed and pulled her closer. They drifted through the morning without a plan. Lily made coffee. They ate toast standing at the counter, reading different sections of the same newspaper Kate had never canceled, even though she got all her news on her phone. "Who still reads a physical newspaper?" Lily asked. "People with taste. People over 30. Watch it." Lily grinned behind her mug. Around noon, Kate disappeared into her office for an hour to handle something she described as an email that could have been a resignation. Lily curled up on the couch with her book and didn't feel guilty about it. That was new. Being still in this apartment without looking for something to clean or organize or fix. Without feeling like her presence needed to be justified by productivity. She was just here because she wanted to be. The book was good. It had always been good. But somewhere around page 240, it became something else entirely. And Lily found herself reading the same paragraph 4 times, her face getting progressively warmer, very aware that she was alone in Kate's apartment on a Sunday afternoon, getting flustered by a novel like a teenager. She didn't hear Kate come back. "You're pink," Kate said from the doorway. Lily snapped the book shut. "What?" "Your face." Kate nodded at it. "You're pink. It's warm in here. It's 68 degrees. Kate crossed the room and sat beside her. "What are you reading?" Lily pulled the book into her chest. "Nothing You Need to See." "That's not a title I recognize." Kate tilted her head. "Since when are you so secretive about what you read?" "Since it's none of your business." Kate's eyes dropped to the book pressed against Lily's chest, then back up to her face, and something clicked behind them. That particular look she got when she'd already figured something out and was deciding how much to enjoy it. "You're flustered," Kate said, "which means it's not nothing. It's just a novel. Can I see it?" "No." Kate took it anyway, plucked it out of Lily's hands before she could react, flipped to the bookmarked page, and started reading. The silence lasted about 10 seconds. "Oh," Kate said. "Give it back." "Just a moment." "Kate, I'm reading." Lily covered her face with both hands. Kate read for another 30 seconds, her expression perfectly composed except for the very slight lift at the corner of her mouth. "Is this what you're into?" Kate asked. "No, obviously not. It's just what was in the book. I didn't know it was going to—" "You're on page 247. The first 246 pages were very good." Kate closed the book, set it back in Lily's lap, and leaned in, close enough that her mouth was right at Lily's ear. "That's a shame," she said quietly. "Would have been fun to try." Then she stood up, completely unhurried, and walked toward the kitchen. "I'm making dinner. Pasta, okay?" Lily stared at the wall. For approximately 3 seconds, she tried to talk herself into a more innocent interpretation. Force of habit, really. She'd had a lot of practice. But it didn't take. Not this time. "Lily?" "Hmm? Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Pasta's good." Kate said nothing, but Lily could hear her smug smile from the other room. By late afternoon, the apartment smelled like garlic. Kate had taken over the kitchen with the quiet confidence of someone who actually knew what they were doing, which Lilly found both attractive and slightly annoying. She sat on the counter and watched, which Kate tolerated without comment. "You don't have to supervise," Kate said. "I'm not supervising. I'm observing." "What's the difference?" "I'm not writing anything down." Kate handed her a dish towel to do something useful with. Lilly folded it. They ate at the table facing each other, knees bumping underneath. The pasta was good, genuinely, unfairly good, and Lilly told her so. "It's just pasta," Kate said. "Kate." "What?" "Accept the compliment." Kate looked up from her plate. "Thank you. It's just pasta." Lilly laughed. "I hate that about you." "That I can cook?" "That you're good at things and completely unbothered by it." Lilly pointed her fork at her. "Normal people fish for compliments. You deflect them." "I'm not deflecting. I'm being accurate. You boil water. You add things." "I added things once and you still bring it up." "That's because what you made was scientifically interesting. It was an accident." "A fascinating one." Lilly shook her head, but she was smiling. Kate was smiling too. That small, private one she didn't always bother to hide anymore. The evening had nowhere left to go except the couch, so that's where they went. Kate found something on the TV without really looking. Lilly tucked herself into Kate's side without really thinking about it. It was that kind of night. The book was on the coffee table where Kate had left it after handing it back, spine up, page 247 bookmarked for later. "You can finish it, you know," Kate said, nodding at it. "I'm fine. I could read it to you if you'd like." Lilly rolled her eyes. "Please don't. I'm a very good reader." "I know you are. That's the problem." Kate looked at her then. That particular look, unhurried and a little devastating, the one that meant she knew exactly what she was doing. "You shouldn't be embarrassed about what you're into." "I'm not embarrassed." "You are. A little. Can we watch the movie?" "Lilly." "Kate. I'm serious." Kate's voice dropped, losing the teasing edge. "You don't have to be embarrassed. Not with me." She paused. "Besides, it's good to know what your partner likes." The word partner landed somewhere in Lily's chest and stayed there. Lilly looked at her. "You're still going to tease me about it." "I'm really not." "You absolutely are. Every time I pick up a book for the rest of my life, you're going to give me that look." "What look?" "That one." Lilly gestured at her face. "The one you're doing right now." Kate smiled, slow, unrepentant. "That's just my face." "It is not just your face. Watch the movie, Lilly." Lilly turned back to the screen, her cheeks warm. Kate's arm tightened around her and pressed a kiss to the top of her head, gentle and unhurried, like punctuation at the end of a sentence neither of them needed to finish. "For what it's worth," Kate murmured. "Page 247 was very well written." Lilly shook her head slowly and said nothing, but she turned to look at Kate, and Kate was already looking at her, and that was really all it took. There was still heat in Lily's cheeks. Probably always would be, she was starting to think, whenever Kate looked at her like that. But there was something about being looked at by Kate that made the embarrassment sit differently. Lighter. Like it didn't need to be hidden or explained or laughed off. Like it was just another thing Kate had seen and decided was worth staying for. Lilly kissed her, soft and unhurried. Not urgent, just sure. She hoped Kate could find in it the gratitude she couldn't quite put into words. For the teasing that never felt cruel. For the looking without flinching. For making embarrassment feel, somehow, like something close to safety. Kate's hand came up to the side of her neck, thumb against her jaw, and Lilly felt herself dissolve a little. The way she always did when Kate touched her like that, like she was something worth being careful with. Kate pulled her closer, and Lilly went, shifting until she was half in Kate's lap, hands on her shoulders, kissing her deeper. Kate made a sound low in her throat that sent heat straight down Lily's spine. She kissed along Kate's jaw, felt her breath hitch, smiled against her skin. Kate's hand slid into her hair and pulled her back to her mouth, and somewhere in the back of Lily's mind a distant, traitorous thought surfaced. Page 247 has nothing on this. And then she stopped thinking entirely. Then Kate's phone rang. They both froze. Kate closed her eyes. No. Don't answer it. I won't. The phone kept ringing. Loud and cheerful and utterly shameless on the coffee table, screen lit up with a name they could both see. Sam. She knows, Lily whispered. She somehow knows. She doesn't know. She's just cursed with the worst timing of any human alive. The ringing stopped. 3 seconds of peace. Then it started again. Kate groaned and reached for the phone. Lily slid off her lap but stayed close enough to hear. Kate answered, her voice flat. Someone better be dying. No one's dying, Sam said. I just forgot to tell you something earlier. Sam. I had a dream about you last night. You and Lily. There was a cabin. Not our cabin. A different one. And you were both being completely oblivious about each other, and I was trying to get you to just talk, but Valentina kept pulling me away every time I opened my mouth. Sounds accurate. I thought so too. Sam paused. Why aren't you on FaceTime? Because I don't want to be. Kate, turn on FaceTime. I'm sitting on my couch. There's nothing to see. Then it shouldn't be a problem. Kate looked at Lily, who raised her eyebrows as if to say your call. Kate sighed and switched to FaceTime. Sam's face filled the screen. She took one look at them and stopped talking completely, which had maybe happened 3 times in her entire life. Kate's hair was slightly out of place. Lily was visible just behind her, flushed, cushion clutched to her chest, looking like she very much wanted to be somewhere else. Huh, Sam said. Don't, Kate said. I'm not doing anything. Sam. I'm literally just looking at you. A pause. Both of you. Then another pause. Val, come here. Sam, babe, come look at the phone. Valentina appeared behind Sam's shoulder, looked at the screen, and had the grace to keep her expression neutral. Hi, Kate. Hi, Lily. Hi, Lily said faintly from behind the cushion. Sam pointed at the screen. Look at them. I see them, Valentina said. No, but look. Sam, leave them alone. I am leaving them alone. I'm just... Kate, your hair... Good night, Sam. No, wait. I just want to say one thing. One thing. Sam pressed her hand to her face. I have been waiting for this for so long, and I just want to say that I am so genuinely, incredibly... Kate hung up. 2 seconds later, a text appeared. Sam. Rude. Sam. Also, oh my God. Sam. Also, I'm so happy I could cry. Sam. Val says I should let you get back to whatever you were doing. Sam. Tell me everything tomorrow. Kate turned her phone face down on the table. Lily was pressing her face into the cushion, shoulders shaking with silent laughter. I'm going to change my number, Kate said. No, you're not. I'm going to move to another country. You'd miss her in a week. Kate looked at Lily, flushed and laughing and half collapsed against the couch, and felt something settle in her chest. Not the desperate warmth of the snow. Something quieter, steadier. The kind of feeling that doesn't need a perfect moment to survive. Just this. Just Sunday. Just Lily on her couch, laughing at her best friend's terrible timing, looking at her like she was exactly where she wanted to be. Yeah, Kate said. I probably would. Kate had rehearsed this conversation 4 times. Once in the shower, once while getting dressed, once in the elevator on the way down, and once more in the car, gripping the steering wheel at a red light while Oliver sang a made-up song about a penguin named Gerald too from the back seat. She kept thinking about his face, the way it might fall, the way he might go quiet and look at her with those eyes that saw too much for a 5-year-old and ask something she didn't have an answer for. She'd anticipated tears, though Oliver wasn't much of a crier. She'd anticipated confusion. She'd anticipated a long silence followed by a question she wasn't ready for. What she had not anticipated was how hard it would be to start. The ice cream shop was Oliver's favorite, a small place with too many flavors with names that sounded made up. Oliver pressed his face against the glass case with the focus of a surgeon. "I want the blue one," he said. "Which blue one?" "The really blue one." Kate looked at the case. There were 3 blue options. Cotton candy, blueberry, or I think that one's called Ocean Breeze. Oliver considered this very seriously. What does the ocean taste like? I don't think you want to know, buddy. Cotton candy. They found a bench in the park across the street. It was a good bench, facing the pond, half shaded by an old oak, close enough to the playground that Oliver could see the swings, but far enough that he wasn't distracted by them. Oliver attacked his cone with the kind of single-minded intensity that left blue ice cream on his chin, his fingers, and somehow his ear within the first 30 seconds. Kate watched him, her own cup untouched. This was the moment. He was happy. He was calm. Well, as calm as a 5-year-old with cotton candy ice cream could be. The park was quiet. It was now or never. She took a breath. "Hey, Ollie. Can I talk to you about something?" Oliver looked up, mid-lick. "Am I in trouble?" "No, not at all." "Good." He went back to his cone. "Okay." Kate turned her cup in her fingers. "You know how some people have a mom and a dad, and some people have 2 moms or 2 dads?" "Like you and Mama Elise," Oliver said, not looking up. "Before." "Right, like me and Mama Elise, before." Kate swallowed. "And you know how sometimes, after people aren't together anymore, they might find someone new? Someone who makes them happy?" Oliver paused his licking. His eyes drifted up to Kate's. He didn't say anything, but she could see him listening, really listening, the way he did when something mattered. What if... Kate's rehearsed words evaporated. All 4 versions gone. What if I told you that I really like someone, and that this person is someone you already know? Oliver frowned. "Is it Sam?" Kate choked. No, it's not Sam." "Good, because Sam is Val's." Yes, that's correct." Oliver took another lick of his cone and looked at her with patient expectation, like he was waiting for her to catch up. Kate set her spoon down. "It's Lilly, Oliver." Oliver looked at his ice cream, then at Kate, then at a duck that had wandered close to their bench. "Lilly," he repeated. "Yeah." Kate's voice was quieter than she intended. "I like Lilly. A lot. And I wanted to ask how you would feel about that. About me and Lilly being... together." He thought about it. Took another bite. Chewed with the gravity of a 5-year-old being consulted on something important. "Is she still going to live with us?" "Yes. For now, yes." "And she'll still make pancakes?" "I'm sure she will. And read me stories?" "Definitely." His face broke into a grin, huge and uncomplicated and instant. "Cool," he said. Kate blinked. "Cool?" "Yeah." He shrugged, one of those exaggerated kid shrugs where his shoulders nearly touched his ears. "I like Lilly. She's really pretty." Kate looked at him. "She is." "Like you," Oliver added, very matter-of-factly, and went back to his cone. Kate sat there for a moment, slightly stunned by how simple it was. She'd prepared for tears, confusion, a difficult conversation that required patience and careful navigation. She had not prepared for cool. "Do you have any questions?" she managed. About any of it? Oliver looked up at the sky, thinking hard. Kate braced herself. Mom? Yeah, buddy. If dinosaurs were still alive, do you think they would like ice cream? Kate stared at him. Because I think the plant-eating ones would like mint, he continued, completely serious. But the T-Rex would probably like, I don't know, something red. Strawberry, Kate said, because her brain had stopped functioning and that was the only word available. Yeah, strawberry, because of the blood. That's not why strawberry is red. But it could be. Kate leaned back on the bench and laughed. Really laughed. The kind that comes from somewhere deep when you've been holding your breath for days and a 5-year-old asks you about dinosaur ice cream preferences. Oliver watched her, pleased with himself. The duck had come closer, eyeing the cone. I love you, Kate said. You know that, right? I know. He held out his cone. Want some? She leaned forward and took a bite. Cotton candy. Tooth-achingly sweet. Good? Oliver asked. Kate wiped blue ice cream from the corner of her mouth and looked at her son. This small, strange, wonderful person who noticed everything and worried about nothing and had just made the hardest conversation of her week last approximately 90 seconds. Yeah, buddy, she said. Really good. The aquarium was Oliver's idea. He'd been talking about it for 2 weeks, ever since a kid at his playdate told him they had a tunnel where sharks swam over your head. Oliver had repeated this information to Lilly approximately 40 times, each retelling more urgent than the last, until she'd looked at Kate over his head and mouthed, I think we have to go. So they went. Saturday morning, the 3 of them, walking through the entrance like it was the most normal thing in the world. And maybe it was. That was the strange part. How little had actually changed on the surface. Kate still carried the bag. Lilly still held Oliver's hand. Oliver still narrated everything at full volume. But underneath, the geometry was different. Lilly walked closer to Kate than she used to. Kate's hand found the small of Lily's back when they stopped in front of an exhibit, brief and automatic, like she'd forgotten anyone might be watching. Neither of them mentioned it. Neither of them needed to. Oliver was in heaven. He pressed his face against every tank, fogging the glass with his breath, providing detailed commentary that was roughly 40% accurate. That's a hammerhead, he announced, pointing at something that was very clearly not a hammerhead. I think that's a stingray, buddy, Kate said. It could be a hammerhead. It really couldn't. Lilly, is that a hammerhead? Lilly crouched beside him and studied the tank with exaggerated seriousness. I think it might be a new species. A hammer ray. Oliver's eyes went wide. A hammer ray? Lilly, Kate said flatly. Don't. A mix of both. Very rare. We might be the first people to ever see one. We are not the first people to... Mom, we discovered a new species. Kate closed her eyes. Lilly grinned at her over Oliver's head. Kate gave her a look that said, I will deal with you later, and also, unmistakably, I adore you. They spent 2 hours moving through the building at Oliver's pace, which meant roughly 15 minutes per tank and a full 20 in the gift shop. Oliver lobbied hard for a stuffed octopus the size of his torso. Absolutely not, Kate said, but he's lonely. He's a stuffed animal. He doesn't have feelings. Mom. Oliver looked personally offended. Everything has feelings. Kate glanced at Lilly for backup. Lilly held up both hands. Don't look at me. I think he has a point. They left with the octopus. Oliver named him Professor Tentacles. The shark tunnel was everything Oliver had promised. They stood in the middle of it, blue light washing over them, shadows of massive shapes gliding overhead, the glass curving around them like being inside a wave. Oliver was speechless for possibly the first time in his life, his head tipped all the way back, mouth open. Whoa, he whispered. Kate and Lily stood on either side of him. In the blue half-dark, Kate felt Lily's fingers brush hers. She took her hand. Oliver didn't notice. He was too busy watching a shark pass directly over his head in slow, silent motion. "Mom," he whispered. "Lily. Look." Not Mom and then Lily as an afterthought. Both names together, in the same breath, like they were one unit. One thing. Kate squeezed Lily's hand. They stood there for a long time, the three of them, watching the shark circle overhead in the quiet blue light. Oliver reached up and took Kate's free hand with one of his, and Lily's with the other, so they stood in a chain, linked together in the middle of the tunnel while the ocean moved around them. He didn't say anything about it, didn't make it a moment, just held on to both of them like it was the most obvious thing in the world. They got home in the late afternoon, Oliver half asleep in Kate's arms, Professor Tentacles dangling from his grip. Kate carried him to his room while Lily kicked off her shoes and dropped onto the couch. The apartment was golden with late sun. Quiet, except for the muffled sounds of Kate settling Oliver into bed, the low murmur of her voice, the rustle of a blanket, the soft click of his door. Lily's phone buzzed on the coffee table. She glanced at it. Unknown number, but a voicemail. She picked it up and listened. "Hi, Lily. This is Rachel Adler. Kate West passed along your information and asked me to reach out. I'm a career development consultant. I work with people who are figuring out their next step, whether that's going back to school, switching fields, or just getting some clarity. I'd love to set up a time to chat. No pressure, no commitment. Give me a call back when you get a chance." Lily lowered the phone slowly. She sat there for a moment, staring at the screen. Something shifted in her chest. Not nerves exactly. More like the feeling of a door appearing in a wall she'd been staring at for a long time. Kate came back down the hallway. She paused when she saw Lily's expression. "What?" Kate asked. "Your career counselor called." Kate stopped. "Rachel?" "Yeah." Lily looked up at her. "She left a voicemail. She wants to set up a time to talk." Kate sat down beside her on the couch, close enough that their shoulders touched. She didn't say anything right away, didn't ask how Lily felt about it, didn't push, didn't offer to manage it. Just sat there. "You okay?" she said after a moment. Lily turned the phone over in her hands. "Yeah, I think so." She paused. "It's just real, suddenly. Like, I've been thinking about this stuff in the abstract for years. What I want to do. What comes next. And now there's an actual person with an actual phone number who wants to have an actual conversation about it. You don't have to call her back." "I know." Lily was quiet for a beat. "But I think I want to." Kate looked at her, that steady, patient look she gave when she was letting someone arrive at something on their own. "I want to," Lily said again, more certain this time. She smiled, small and nervous and real. "I'll call her tomorrow." Kate nodded. Then she leaned over and kissed Lily's temple, gentle and brief. "Good," she said. The meeting was tomorrow at 10. Lily had known this for 4 days. She'd saved Rachel Adler's number, confirmed the appointment, written down the address, and looked up the building on Street View twice. She was prepared. Completely prepared. Totally, absolutely, unreasonably prepared. She was also spiraling. It started around 7, after dinner. Oliver was building something elaborate out of magnetic tiles on the living room floor, and Kate was beside Lily on the couch answering emails. Normal evening. Quiet apartment. Nothing to panic about. Except Lily had picked up her phone, put it down, picked it up again, opened her notes app, closed it, opened it again, and started a list titled Things I'm Good At, that currently read, Kids, Reading. She stared at the blinking cursor for a full minute, then deleted the whole thing. Kate glanced over. "You okay?" "Fine." "You've unlocked your phone 11 times in the last 5 minutes." I wasn't counting. I was. Lily set her phone face down on the cushion. I'm just thinking. About tomorrow? No. Then, yes. Kate closed her laptop and turned to face her. What's worrying you? Nothing specific. Everything general. Lily pulled at a thread on the cushion. What if she asks what I want to do and I just sit there? Like I've been sitting for 3 years. What if she asks what I'm passionate about and I say I don't know and she writes hopeless case, recommend retail on her clipboard? She's not going to have a clipboard. You don't know that. Kate gave her a look. She works out of a converted loft and there are plants. Lily went still. Did you look her office up? I wanted to make sure it was a good fit for you. Lily almost smiled. Almost. What if I go in there and I'm the exact same person I was 3 years ago? The one who dropped out because she didn't have a plan. You really think nothing's changed? I don't know. Lily, 3 years ago you left school because you didn't know what you wanted. Since then you've moved to a new city, taken care of a kid who adores you, held your own with a woman who, by all accounts, is a lot to deal with. Who said you're a lot to deal with? Everyone. Constantly. Kate's voice softened. You're not the same person. You just haven't caught up to that yet. That's what tomorrow is for. Lily looked down at her hands. What if she can't help? Then we figure out something else. She shifted slightly. I think you're braver than you give yourself credit for. And I think you're going to walk in there and surprise yourself. Lily's throat tightened. She leaned into Kate's side without saying anything. Kate's arm came around her automatically, steady, warm, certain. From the floor, Oliver looked up. Lily, are you sad? No, buddy. Just nervous about something. He considered this, then set down his tile, walked over, and climbed onto the couch beside her. He patted her knee very seriously. It's okay to be nervous. I was nervous the first time I went on the big slide, the really tall one, and I screamed the whole way down. But at the bottom, I was like, that was awesome. So you're saying I should just go down the slide? Yeah, and if you scream, that's okay. Screaming is part of it. Kate pressed her lips together. Lily pulled Oliver into a hug, burying her smile in his curls. He endured it for a moment, then wriggled free, announced his tower was going to be taller than the building, and disappeared down the hall. The apartment went quiet. You just got a pep talk from a 5-year-old about a slide, Kate said. And it worked. That's the embarrassing part. Kate laughed and pulled Lily closer. The anxiety was still there, but quieter now. Manageable, like something she could carry. I'm proud of you, Kate said. I haven't done anything yet. You called her back. You made the appointment. You're showing up. Her thumb traced a slow line along Lily's arm. That's not nothing. They sat quietly. Then, what time does it end? 11, maybe 11:30. I'll pick you up. Lily lifted her head. Kate, you don't have to. I know. That expression, soft and stubborn, the one that made arguing pointless. I'll be outside at 11. Lily held her gaze for a second, then gave up. Fine. Good. You're very bossy. I prefer supportive. That's not what that is. Kate gave her a quick kiss. Agree to disagree. 11. Lily smiled and settled back against her. Tomorrow she'd walk into a stranger's office and try to figure out who she was becoming. Tonight, she knew exactly where she belonged. Lily arrived 20 minutes early. She stood outside the building, a converted brownstone with a green door and window boxes that someone actually took care of, and checked the address on her phone 3 times. Then her reflection in the glass. Then the address again. Her phone buzzed. Kate. Stop standing outside and go in. Lily looked around, half expecting to see Kate's car somewhere nearby. Lily. How did you know I was standing outside? Kate. Because I know you. Lily. That's unsettling. Kate. Go inside, Lily. Kate. And don't forget to breathe. Lily put her phone away, took one long breath, and went in. Rachel Adler's office had no desk, no clipboard. Just two armchairs angled toward each other in a bright, plant-filled room with tall windows and a rug that looked like someone had chosen it because they actually liked it. Rachel was younger than Lily had imagined, early 40s, reading glasses pushed up on her head, the kind of easy warmth that made Lily's shoulders drop the moment she sat down. "So," Rachel said, "Kate tells me you're figuring some things out." "That's one way to put it." "What's another way?" Lily thought about it. "I've been standing still for 3 years and I don't know which direction to walk." Rachel nodded like that was a perfectly reasonable thing to say. Forget jobs, careers, what you think you're supposed to want. When was the last time you lost track of time doing something? Lily thought about her days, the mornings with Oliver, the moments that didn't feel like waiting. "Reading to Oliver," she said slowly. "Not just reading. When he's frustrated because something doesn't make sense, and I find a way to explain it, that clicks. That moment when his face changes. When he goes from confused to oh. What do you love about it?" "It feels like I'm giving him something he gets to keep." They talked a while longer. Rachel asked the kind of questions that didn't have clean answers, but left something buzzing in Lily's chest. "Homework," Rachel said near the end. "Notice the moments this week where you feel like yourself, not performing, not filling a role. Write them down." "Okay. How's Thursday?" Lily nodded before she'd decided to. "Thursday works." Kate was leaning against the car when Lily came out. Arms crossed, sunglasses on, hair catching the light, wearing that navy coat, scrolling her phone with the kind of effortless composure that made strangers glance twice as they walked past. Lily stopped on the sidewalk. This woman. This ridiculous, beautiful, intimidating woman who had kissed her this morning before she left, who had texted her to breathe, who was standing outside a career counselor's office at 11 on a Tuesday because Lily had been nervous. How did I end up here? Lily thought. How did I end up with her? Kate looked up and pushed her sunglasses onto her head. "How was the slide?" Lily laughed, surprised and bright. "Oliver told you to say that?" "He was very insistent." Kate paused. "He also said to tell you that Professor Tentacles says good luck." "Obviously, that's the important part." Kate studied her face. "You're smiling." "It was good." Lily took a breath. She asked good questions. "I don't have answers yet, but I have something, like a thread I keep pulling on." She paused. "I'm going back Thursday." Something shifted in Kate's expression. Subtle, but Lily caught it. Pride, maybe. Or just the quiet satisfaction of watching someone you care about take a step forward. "Good," Kate said. "Want a walk? Find coffee somewhere?" She looked at the sidewalk stretching out ahead of them. One of those bright, crisp days where the sky looks bigger than it has any right to. "Yeah," she said. "I'd like that." They walked without heading anywhere specific. Kate's hand found Lily's after half a block. Neither of them mentioned it. "She asked me when I lose track of time," Lily said. "And I kept coming back to the same things. Like there's something I keep circling that I can't quite see yet." "That's how it starts," Kate said. "Is it?" "The best things always start as something you can't name yet." Her mouth curved. "I couldn't name what I felt about you for months. Look how that turned out." Lily bumped her shoulder. "Smooth. I try." They found a coffee shop on a corner. Small, warm, mismatched chairs. They sat by the window with their knees touching under the table the way they always did now. "I don't have a plan yet," Lily said, wrapping her hands around her cup. "No direction, no 5-year roadmap. But something shifted. Like I've been staring at a locked door for 3 years, and someone just pointed out there's a window." Kate took her hand across the table, didn't say anything for a moment, just held it. "Thank you," Lilly said, "for all of it. You did the hard part. I just drove." "You did more than drive." Kate looked at her, really looked, the way she did when she wasn't managing what she felt, but just letting it be there, and didn't say anything. She didn't have to. "Coffee's good here," Kate said finally. "You haven't tasted yours yet." "I know, but I'm having a good time, so everything tastes better." Lilly laughed. "That might be the most romantic thing you've ever said." "Don't get used to it. Too late." The first candidate introduced herself as a child whisperer. Oliver hid behind Lily's legs for the entire interview. "He's usually very friendly," Kate said, in the tone she used when a meeting was going badly. "Children sense energy," the woman said, nodding. "He's just recalibrating to my frequency." Oliver whispered, loud enough for everyone to hear. "I don't want to recalibrate." Kate ended the interview shortly after. The second candidate was a man in his 50s with an impressive resume. Professional, experienced, authoritative. Oliver listened politely for 3 minutes, then turned to Kate and said, "He talks like a teacher, not the fun kind." The man was already reaching for his coat. The third seemed promising. Young, warm, genuinely enthusiastic. She got down on Oliver's level and asked about his tile tower. Oliver showed her how it worked, even let her add a piece. Then she called him Sweetie. "Only Lilly calls me that," he said, and walked to his room. Kate sat at the kitchen counter after the last candidate left, rubbing her temples. Lilly slid onto the stool beside her. "That went well," Lilly said. "Don't." "The frequency lady was my favorite." "I said don't." Lilly pressed her lips together, fighting a smile. "He'll warm up to someone. We just need to find someone who can pass the dinosaur test and pick the right yogurt." Kate dropped her hands. "I know. It's just strange. Finding someone to do what you've been doing." Lilly looked down at the counter. "It was a job. At the beginning." "And now?" "Now it's just my life, which is why it's the right time to let it go." She traced a scratch in the countertop with her thumb. "It stopped being a job a long time ago. We both know that." Kate reached over and covered Lily's hand with hers. "For the record," Kate said, "you were the best nanny I ever hired." Lilly rolled her eyes. "That's a low bar and you know it." Elise called on Wednesday to say she'd be in town for the weekend and wanted to see Oliver. Oliver buzzed with excitement the moment Kate told him. Kate, on the other hand, seriously reconsidered taking up the nail-biting habit she'd kicked in college. Because Elise would find out. That was inevitable. Oliver wasn't the kind of kid you could ask to keep something quiet, not because he was careless, but because he didn't understand why anyone would want to. He lived out loud. If something was true, he said it. And the fact that Lilly and his mom were together was, to Oliver, just another true thing. Kate had thought about telling him not to mention it, for about 3 seconds. Then she'd imagined the kind of parent that would make her, the kind who teaches a 5-year-old that love is something you hide, and the thought made her sick. So she'd tell Elise herself, before Oliver did it for her, casually, over breakfast, in a way that would be both completely accurate and completely without context. The problem was, she had no idea how Elise would react. They were fine. They'd been fine for a long time. The divorce had been painful but not ugly, and they'd built something functional and warm around Oliver. They co-parented well. They texted about schedules and school and whether Oliver was eating enough vegetables. They were, by all reasonable measures, 2 adults who had loved each other, stopped, and figured out how to keep going. But this was different. This was Kate saying, "I've moved on," with someone younger, someone who lived in their apartment, someone who'd been hired to take care of their son. Kate could already hear how it sounded. Saturday morning. Elise arrived at 10. Lilly had taken Oliver to his room to find his favorite pair of shorts, the ones with dinosaurs on them that he insisted were the only acceptable option for a weekend with Mom Elise. Kate could hear them down the hall, Oliver's muffled voice explaining why no other shorts would do. Kate leaned against the wall near the front door, arms crossed. She uncrossed them, crossed them again, then just said it. "I'm seeing someone." Elise's expression didn't change. She just looked at Kate, steady, reading her the way she always could. "It's Lilly," Kate said. A silence. Not long, but heavy enough that Kate felt every second of it. "She's young," Elise said. "As an observation, like the way you'd note the weather." "She is." "And she was working for you." "We're in the middle of finding a new nanny, transitioning things before Oliver starts school." Elise was quiet for a moment. Something moved behind her expression. Not anger, not jealousy, just the particular complexity of watching someone you used to love find someone new. Then her face softened in a way Kate hadn't expected. "You know I want you to be happy, Kate." She said it simply, without performance. "You and I, we loved each other, but we never quite made sense. Not the way we both needed." She paused. "And I've watched you since then, building this life, being an incredible mother, holding everything together so tightly. But you don't let people in. You never have. Not really." Kate's throat tightened. "So if she's someone you've actually let in?" Elise gave a small smile. "She must be something." Kate hadn't prepared for this. She'd prepared for polite acceptance, for composed civility, not for tenderness from the one person who knew exactly how hard it was to love Kate West. "She is," Kate said quietly. "Does Oliver know?" "He said cool, and then asked me about dinosaur ice cream preferences." Elise laughed, real and warm. "That sounds about right." Her expression shifted to something more practical. "Listen, I've been meaning to tell you, I'm cutting back on travel this year. A lot, actually. So if you need help during the transition, with Oliver, with the nanny search, anything, I can be around more." Kate blinked. "You don't have to." "I know I don't. But he's my son too, and it sounds like you've got a lot of moving pieces right now." Elise shrugged. "Let me help." Before Kate could respond, Oliver's voice rang out from the hallway. "Found them!" He appeared around the corner, triumphant, holding up the dinosaur shorts. Lilly trailed behind him, catching Kate's eye with a quick, questioning look. Kate gave her a small nod, letting her know it went okay. Elise crouched down. "Those are excellent shorts." "I know," Oliver said. "Lilly said they bring good luck." "She's probably right." Elise stood, took his hand, and glanced back at Kate one more time. "Be happy, Kate," she said. "You're allowed." The door closed behind them. Kate stayed where she was, leaning against the wall, listening to the silence settle. Then she laughed, once, softly, to no one, and went to find Lilly. Lilly had been staring at the screen for 20 minutes. After the third text from her mother this week, she'd figured she might as well get it over with. Everything was filled in. Every field, every box, every question answered. Rachel had helped her with the personal statement over their last 2 sessions, and Kate had proofread it without being asked, leaving it on the counter one morning with a single post-it that said 1 typo, 3rd paragraph, otherwise perfect. Lilly had fixed the typo and not mentioned the fact that her eyes burned for 10 minutes afterward. The cursor hovered over the submit button. Had been hovering. Was still hovering. The apartment was quiet. Kate at work. Oliver at Elise's for the afternoon. No one to perform for, no one to reassure her, no one to hold her hand or tell her it was going to be fine. Just Lilly and a blue button and the silence stretching thin. She got up, made coffee, sat back down. The button was still there, still blue, still waiting. She picked up her phone, put it down, scrolled back through the application again, even though she knew it was right. But this wasn't about getting it right. This was about pressing the button. The thing was, and Lily knew this, had known it for weeks. Once she clicked it, she couldn't take it back. It would be out there. A decision and a direction. The first real one she'd made since dropping out 3 years ago, and the stakes felt enormous even though she knew, logically, that the worst thing that could happen was a rejection email. But it wasn't the rejection she was scared of. It was the acceptance. It was the part where her life actually changed and she had to become the person she'd told them she wanted to be. She looked at the screen. You are about to submit your application. This action cannot be undone. Lily exhaled, clicked. The page refreshed. A short confirmation message. Thank you for your application. You will receive a response within 4 to 6 weeks. She sat there for a second. Then she closed the laptop and pressed both hands flat on top of it, like sealing something shut. Her phone was in her hand before she'd decided to pick it up. Lily, I did it. Kate. The application? Lily. Yeah. Kate. I'm leaving the office. Lily. Kate. It's 2 p.m. Kate. I'm bringing champagne. Lily. It's an application, Kate. I haven't even been accepted yet. Kate. Don't care. Champagne. Lily put the phone down and laughed, quiet, shaky, alone in the kitchen. She pressed her hands over her face and breathed. She'd done it. She'd actually done it. Lily changed her outfit twice. She settled on something in between, not too formal, not too casual, and stood in front of the mirror for a moment longer than necessary before deciding it would have to do. She was about to study early childhood education, not law. There was no reason to be this stressed about an outfit. Oliver was already at the breakfast table when she came out, eating cereal, watching her with the focused energy of someone who had important things to say. I have advice, he announced. Lily sat down across from him. Let's hear it. He held up one finger. If someone wants to play, say yes. That's how you make friends. Okay? Even if you don't really want to, you say yes first, and then you want to. That's actually pretty good advice. And if someone is mean to you, he continued with great authority, just ignore them. That's what Mom said to do, and it works. It does work, Kate confirmed from across the kitchen, not looking up from her phone. Oliver nodded gravely. And bring a snack. School makes you hungry. I have a granola bar. He considered this. That's okay. Not as good as crackers, but okay. Lily looked at him. The 6-year-old dispensing first-day wisdom like it was the most natural thing in the world, completely unaware that in a week he'd be sitting somewhere new himself, on the other side of exactly this conversation, and felt something press warm against the inside of her chest. Thank you, she said. I feel a lot better. Oliver picked his spoon back up, satisfied. You're going to be good at it, he said simply, like it wasn't even a question. You're already good with me, and I am a kid. Kate looked up from her phone then. Her eyes found Lily's across the kitchen, and something passed between them, quiet and warm and too full to name. He's right, Kate said. Lily looked down at her coffee. Okay, stop, both of you. We're just saying, Oliver said. I know what you're saying. We're right, though. I know that, too. She left at 8:15. Kate walked her to the door. Oliver trailed behind them, still eating, spoon in hand. You have everything? Kate asked. Yes. You're sure? Kate. Kate reached out and brushed a wrinkle from Lily's top. A small thing. Her fingers lingered there for just a second. You're going to be great, she said quietly. Lily looked at her. Okay. Okay. Oliver raised his spoon. Remember, say yes. I'll say yes, Lily promised. She turned and walked down the hall. Behind her, she heard Oliver ask Kate if Lily was nervous, and Kate say a little bit, and Oliver say that was normal. It goes away after lunch. She stepped into the elevator, turned around, and took a slow breath. Her finger hovered over the button for a second before she pressed it. The doors had already started to close when Kate's hand appeared between them, flat against one panel, and they stopped. Kate stepped in just enough, not fully, one hand still on the door. "I almost forgot," she said. She leaned in and kissed her, brief and warm and unhurried, like she'd thought about it. Then she pulled back, and her mouth was doing something close to a smile. "Good luck, charm." She dropped her hand, stepped back into the hallway. Lily watched the doors close between them. She stood there for a moment in the quiet of the elevator, looking at nothing, and smiled to herself. She stood outside the building for a moment before going in. Students moved past her in both directions, unhurried, like they knew exactly where they were going. For the first time in a long time, so did she. She shifted her bag and walked in. Lily brought it up on a Tuesday evening, while Kate was going through emails at the kitchen island and Oliver was in his room. She'd been rehearsing it for a week. How to say it without making it weird. Without it sounding like she was pulling away, or ungrateful, or like any of this meant less than it did. In the end, she just said it. "I've been looking at apartments." Kate looked up from her laptop. "Near campus," Lily added. I think it's time. I should have my own place." Kate held her gaze for a moment, expression unreadable in that way it sometimes still was. Then she nodded, slowly. "Okay. Okay. I think you're right," Kate said. "You should have your own space." Lily blinked. She'd prepared for more resistance than that. "Oh, did you find anything?" "There was one," Lily said, and she hated how her voice did something slightly different when she said it. "About 20 minutes from here. Close to campus. Good light. Small, but, yeah, I liked it a lot." Kate's eyes stayed on her. "What happened to it?" Lily shrugged, aiming for casual. "Credit score. First-time renter, no history. They went with someone else." "Ah," Kate said. "There'll be others," Lily said. "I'm still looking." Kate nodded and looked back at her laptop. The following Saturday, Kate appeared in the living room while Lily was reading and said, "Come for a drive with me." Lily looked up. "Now?" "Oliver's at Elise's. We have 2 hours." "Where are we going?" Kate picked up her keys. "I have a surprise." Lily set her book down slowly. "Kate, promise me you'll like it." "I'm not promising anything before I know what it is." "Promise me anyway." Lily looked at her, that composed expression, and underneath it something a little nervous, which was rare enough that it made Lily pay attention. "Fine, I promise." "Good." Kate was already heading for the door. "Let's go." They drove for 20 minutes, Kate navigating with the quiet focus she brought to most things, not giving anything away. Lily watched the streets change. Further from the penthouse, closer to campus, into a neighborhood she recognized. Then Kate pulled up outside a building on a tree-lined street. Lily went still. It was the one. The building with the good light. The one she'd stood outside of for 10 minutes after the rejection email, telling herself it was fine. There would be others. She turned to look at Kate. Kate reached into her coat pocket and held out a key. "Kate," Lily started. "Before you say anything," Kate said, "I saw how you looked when you talked about it. And I had the conversation with the landlord, and it's sorted." "You can't just—" "I wanted to buy it," Kate said, completely matter of fact. "For the record, Valentina said that would probably be too much." Lily stared at her. "She was right," Kate added. "Probably." "Probably?" "So instead, I've covered a few years of rent." Kate said it the way someone might say so. "Instead, I got you the blue one." like it was a minor adjustment. Which is nothing, honestly. And before you argue, it's not nothing, Kate. It's years of rent. It's nothing, Kate said again, gently but firm. You need your own space. You said so yourself. This is just removing the obstacle. I need to do this myself. I can't just be dependent on you for everything. Letting someone help you isn't the same as depending on them. Kate paused. There's a difference. Lily looked at the building, then back at Kate. You talked to the landlord. I did. Without telling me. I wanted it to be a surprise. It's... Lily stopped, pressed her lips together. It's a lot, Kate. I know. Kate held the key out again. I can just buy it when you graduate instead. As a gift. Lily turned to look at her so slowly. Absolutely not. It was just a thought. It was a terrible thought. You'd have your own place, though. Kate! All right, Kate said, and there was the faintest curve at the corner of her mouth. Take the key, Lily. Lily looked at it for a long moment. Then she took it. The apartment was on the 4th floor, south-facing, with 2 windows in the main room that let in the kind of light that made everything look warmer than it was. It was small. 1 bedroom, a kitchen that was technically a corner of the living room, a bathroom with slightly loud pipes. Lily stood in the middle of it and turned slowly. Well? Kate said from the doorway. Lily looked at the windows, the light, the empty walls that didn't belong to anyone yet. It's perfect, she said quietly. Kate leaned against the doorframe, hands in her pockets, and didn't say anything. Just watched Lily stand in the middle of her first real space and look around like she was already imagining it. After a moment, Lily turned to face her. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm still not letting you buy it when I graduate. We'll revisit this conversation. We won't. Okay, Kate said, in the tone that meant she was absolutely revisiting it. Lily shook her head, and Kate smiled, and outside the south-facing windows the afternoon light did exactly what Lily had known it would do. The restaurant was Sam's pick, which meant it was loud and warm and almost impossible to get a table at on a Friday. They'd pushed 2 tables together near the back. 6 of them, plus Kate and Lily, which made 8, which made the corner of the restaurant entirely theirs for the evening, whether the other diners liked it or not. Sam had already finished her first glass by the time the bread arrived. Okay, she said, looking around the table. I just want to say, it has been too long, way too long. I missed all of your faces. You saw Haley and Danny 3 weeks ago, Izzy said. That's too long. It really isn't. Izzy, Sam pointed at her, don't ruin this with facts. Valentina refilled Sam's water glass meaningfully. Sam ignored it. The table settled into the easy chaos that only happened with people who'd known each other long enough to stop performing. Danny was saying something to Haley that was clearly designed to get a reaction. Haley was giving her absolutely nothing, too busy laughing at something Grace had said across the table. Grace was telling Lily about a gallery opening she'd been to, her hands moving the whole time. Izzy was reading the menu with the focused attention she brought to everything, occasionally passing observations to Grace without looking up. Kate sat beside Lily, not touching, not making anything of it, just there, in the way she always was now. The mains had arrived and the table had reached that comfortable mid-dinner volume, loud enough to feel celebratory, relaxed enough that nobody was performing anymore. When Kate set down her fork. I have something to tell you, she said. Not loudly, but the table heard it anyway, because it was Kate, and Kate didn't say things like that without meaning them. The conversations tapered off. 7 pairs of eyes turned toward her. Kate didn't look at Lily. She looked at the table, at these people she'd known for years, who knew her in all the ways that counted, and said it simply. Lily and I are together. Silence. Not the loud kind. Just a moment of everyone landing in the same place at the same time. Then Haley said, "Oh, thank God," with so much feeling that Danny started laughing, and that was what broke it open. Sam slammed both palms flat on the table hard enough to rattle the glasses. "Finally!" She looked around with the energy of someone who had been sitting on something for a very long time. For the record, I knew. I have known for months. Months, you guys. "You're kidding," Danny said. "I am not kidding. Val, back me up." "She knew," Valentina confirmed, and I said nothing. Sam pressed a hand to her chest. "Do you understand how hard that was? Haley, every time we had dinner, I was sitting there with this information. This one time," Valentina said, "I had to physically put my hand over her mouth. I was excited. Kate and Lily weren't ready yet, Sam." "I know. That's why I didn't say anything." Sam looked around the table again, reclaiming her dignity, which was very hard, and I think deserves acknowledgement. "Acknowledged," Kate said dryly. "Thank you." Sam picked up her wine glass. "I would like a toast to Kate finally getting out of her own way." "Sam?" "And to Lily for having the patience of an absolute saint." "That's fair," Danny said. "And to me for keeping my mouth shut for 4 months, which is the hardest thing I have ever done." "Harder than the ski slope?" Danny asked. "Do not bring up the ski slope." Valentina was already raising her glass. "To Kate and Lily." "To Kate and Lily," the table echoed. Grace, who had been quietly crying for the past 30 seconds, reached across and grabbed Lily's hand. "I'm just so happy," she said. "I'm so happy for you both." "Grace," Izzy said softly. I know. Grace fanned her face with her menu. "I'm fine." Kate looked at Lily then. Lily looked back. Something passed between them, warm and private, the same way it always did in the middle of whatever chaos surrounded them. "Thank you," Kate said to the table. "All of you." Sam opened her mouth. "Sam," 3 people said simultaneously. Sam closed it again. Later, when the plates had been cleared and the wine refilled and the table had settled into that slow, contented end-of-evening rhythm, Sam leaned back in her chair and sighed happily. "I cannot wait to see Oliver next week," she said. "Is he still obsessed with dinosaurs, or has he moved on?" "Still dinosaurs," Kate said, though apparently some kids in his class played football during recess last week and now it's all he talks about. "One recess," Lily said. "One recess and now he's ready to go professional." "Obviously," Sam said. "He's your kid. Whatever he does, he's going to be very serious about it." "He already has opinions about which team is best," Lily added. "Very strong opinions, from a child who has never watched a single game." Sam grinned. "I love him so much." Grace smiled, and something in her expression shifted. Softer, quieter. She glanced at Izzy. Izzy set down her wine glass. "We've been looking into adoption," she said simply, the way she said most things. Like it was a fact that existed, and she was sharing it. The table went still. Grace nodded, her eyes bright. "We've been talking about it for a while. We started the process a few months ago." "Grace." Sam's voice was completely different now. "Why didn't you tell us?" "We wanted to be sure first, that it was really happening." Grace looked at Izzy, and Izzy looked back with that quiet, steady thing they had. "It's really happening." Sam was out of her chair before anyone could say anything, pulling Grace into a hug so fierce that Grace laughed and grabbed her back. Valentina reached across and squeezed Izzy's hand. Izzy allowed it, which meant more than it would have from anyone else. Kate was grinning. "Finally, another kid in the group," she said. "Oliver is going to lose his mind." She looked around the table. "The rest of you should take notes. I'm just saying." "Absolutely not," Haley said immediately. Danny started. Haley turned to look at her. Danny, I didn't say anything. You were about to. Sam pulled back from Grace, eyes wide. Danny. I said nothing. Valentina was laughing. Kate shook her head, smiling into her wine glass. Izzy looked at Grace. What have you started? Grace wiped her eyes, still beaming. I have no regrets. The apartment looked like a library had exploded. Notes covered every surface: the coffee table, the kitchen counter, the 2 chairs Lilly had pushed together to make a makeshift desk when the actual desk got buried. 3 different highlighters. A mug of tea that had gone cold an hour ago. Another mug she'd made to replace it that had also gone cold. Lilly was cross-legged on the floor with her laptop, reading the same paragraph for the 4th time, when her phone lit up. Kate, I'm outside. Buzz me in. Lilly looked up, then at the state of the apartment, then back at her phone. Lilly, it's 9 p.m. Kate, I know what time it is. Lilly, how's Oliver? Kate, at Elise's. Buzz me in, Lilly. Lilly got up and pressed the intercom. Kate arrived with a paper bag from the tie place near her office. The good one. The one Lilly had mentioned once in passing 3 months ago and promptly forgotten she'd mentioned. She stood in the doorway, coat still on, taking in the apartment with the careful expression she used when she was deciding not to comment on something. Hi, Lilly said. Hi. Kate stepped inside, set the bag on the one clear corner of the kitchen counter, and looked at her. When did you last eat? Lilly thought about it. Lunch. It's 9 o'clock. I know. Kate didn't say anything else. She just took off her coat, found 2 plates in the cabinet, and started unpacking the bag. Lilly stood in the middle of the apartment watching her. You didn't have to come all the way here. I was in the area. Kate, you live 20 minutes away. That's basically the area. Lilly opened her mouth, then closed it. There was no point arguing with Kate when she got like this, quiet and practical and completely immovable. She cleared a space on the coffee table. They ate on the floor, Lily's notes spread around them like a strange nest. Kate didn't ask her to explain what any of it was, didn't offer advice, didn't tell her she was going to be fine. She just ate and refilled Lily's water glass when it got low and let the silence be what it was. After a while, Lilly set down her fork. Okay, I need to get back to it. Kate glanced at the notes spread across the floor. What's the paper on? Language acquisition in early childhood. How kids pick up vocabulary before they can even read. Kate was quiet for a second. Oliver used to make up words when he couldn't find the right one. He called the vacuum cleaner a vroom monster until he was 4. Lilly looked up at her. That's actually... Can I use that? It's yours. Lilly grabbed her pen and scrawled something in the margin of her notes. Kate leaned over slightly to read it, then pointed at another section. What's this part? Responsive caregiving. How children develop language faster when adults actually engage with what they're saying rather than just correcting them. So every time I had a serious conversation with Oliver about whether dinosaurs would have liked pizza, you were literally supporting his language development, yes. Kate considered this with great satisfaction. I was an excellent mother. You are an excellent mother, Lilly said, and she meant it so plainly that Kate went quiet for a second. They worked like that for another hour, Lilly reading sections aloud, Kate asking questions that were either genuinely curious or strategically designed to make Lilly explain things back to herself. She wasn't sure which. Probably both. At some point, Kate made her a fresh cup of tea without being asked and set it next to her laptop without saying anything about it. It was past 11 when Kate finally stretched and reached for her coat. It's getting late, she said. You should sleep. I should go. Lilly looked up from her notes. Stay here. Kate paused. Lily, I know, I still have stuff to do. But after. I don't want to disturb you. Lily's voice went soft. I'd probably sleep better if I knew you were next to me. Kate looked at her for a moment. Then, I didn't bring any pajamas. Lily's expression didn't change. Even better. Kate laughed, surprised and helpless, the kind that came from somewhere real. She dropped her coat back over the chair. Fine, she said. But we're actually going to sleep. Obviously, Lily said, already turning back to her notes, smiling at the page. I mean it. Kate, I'm just saying. Go make yourself comfortable, Lily said. I'll be in soon. Kate shook her head, still smiling, and disappeared down the hall. Lily sat in the quiet apartment for a moment, the notes still spread around her, the paper still unfinished. Thursday was still Thursday. But the tea was warm, and Kate was down the hall, and somehow the rest of it felt entirely manageable. She picked up her highlighter and got back to work. Oliver had scored 1 goal. He had been talking about it for 45 minutes. And then I kicked it, he said, for what Lily was fairly certain was the 6th time, and it just went whoosh, right in. Whoosh, Lily agreed. Did you see it? I was there, buddy. I saw it. But did you see the whoosh part specifically? Kate was looking at her menu with the focused expression she used when she was trying not to laugh. They were in a pizza place 2 streets from the pitch. Small and warm, checkered tablecloths, a jar of Parmesan on every table that Oliver had already gotten into twice. Oliver was still in his kit, mud on his socks, his hair going in several directions at once. He had insisted on wearing his shin guards to the restaurant. Kate had decided this was not a battle worth having. I think, Lily said seriously, that the whoosh part was the best part. Oliver sat back, satisfied. Yeah, it was. He reached for the Parmesan again. Kate moved it slightly without looking up from the menu. Oliver's hand followed it. Kate moved it again. Oliver frowned. Mom, you've had enough Parmesan. I haven't had enough Parmesan. You've had so much Parmesan. It's good, though. It is good, Kate agreed, and you've had a lot of it. Oliver looked at Lily for support. Lily held up both hands. I'm not getting involved. He sighed heavily and picked up his juice instead. The pizza arrived, and Oliver stopped talking long enough to eat, which Kate once described as the only reliable way to get 40 seconds of quiet. He worked through his slice with the methodical focus he brought to most things, occasionally glancing up to check that both of them were still there. Lily, he said, mouth still half full. Swallow first. He swallowed. Are you coming over tomorrow? I have an exam next week, so I should probably study. But maybe after. He nodded, processing this. You could stay for dinner? We'll see. Mom makes good pasta on Sundays. I know, I've had it. It's really good. Oliver, Kate said, I'm just saying. I know what you're saying. He grinned and went back to his pizza. Lily caught Kate's eye across the table. Kate's expression was composed, as always, but there was something underneath it, warm and unhurried and completely at ease. Lily looked back at her pizza, smiling at nothing in particular. Oliver fell asleep on the taxi ride home, listing sideways until his head came to rest against Lily's arm. She kept very still for the rest of the journey. Kate carried him up. Lily held the doors. They moved through the apartment quietly, the practiced efficiency of people who had done this exact thing many times before. Shoes off at the door, lights low, the familiar choreography of getting a sleeping 7-year-old to bed without waking him up. Kate tucked him in. Lily stood in the doorway. Oliver stirred just enough to mumble something. What was that, buddy? Kate said softly. I said whoosh, Oliver murmured, and was asleep again. Kate stood up slowly. She looked at Lilly. Lilly pressed her lips together, holding in the laugh. They crept out and pulled the door to. The apartment was quiet in the way it only got after Oliver was asleep. Not empty, just settled. Kate made tea. Lilly sat on the counter the way she always did when there was nothing to do and nowhere to be. They didn't talk for a while. The city moved outside the windows, distant and unhurried. "He's going to be insufferable about that goal for weeks," Lilly said eventually. "Months," Kate said. "He's my son. He has my memory." "Great. You love it." Lilly didn't argue because it was true. Kate handed her a mug and leaned against the counter across from her. They stayed like that for a moment, just the two of them and the low light and the hum of the city outside. "Can I tell you something?" Lilly said. "Yes." Lilly looked down at her mug. "When I moved here, when I first came to this apartment with my suitcase and my terrible career plan and absolutely no idea what I was doing, I just needed somewhere to land. That was all I was looking for." She paused. "I didn't think it would turn into this." "Into what?" Lilly looked up at her. "A life. An actual life." She said it simply, like it was just a fact she was reporting. "I have a place that's mine. I'm studying something I love. Oliver scored a goal today and I was there to see it." She turned the mug in her hands. "I'm happy, Kate. I'm just really happy." Kate looked at her for a long moment. "Me too," she said quietly. It wasn't a grand declaration. It wasn't the end of something or the beginning of something. It was just two people in a kitchen at the end of an ordinary Sunday, telling the truth. The city kept going. They finished their tea slowly, neither of them in any hurry. The city outside had gotten quieter, or maybe they'd just stopped noticing it. At some point, Kate set her mug down and Lilly slid off the counter, and the kitchen light went off behind them. Lilly was washing her face when Kate came in and picked up her toothbrush. She didn't say anything, just ran it under the water and started brushing, leaning slightly against the sink the way she did when she was tired but not ready to sleep yet. They'd been doing this long enough that it didn't feel like anything. Sharing a small bathroom, moving around each other without thinking about it. Lilly reached past Kate for the face wash, and Kate shifted automatically to give her room. Lilly rinsed off, dried her face slowly, and looked up at the mirror. Kate was looking at her own reflection, finishing up, and then she caught Lily's eye in the glass for a second and looked away again. Lilly set the towel down. "I love you," she said. Not loudly, not with any particular weight behind it, just the words, out in the open, like she'd been carrying them around for a while and had finally just put them down somewhere. Kate set her toothbrush down. She was quiet for a moment. Not the uncertain kind of quiet, just the kind that meant she was letting it settle. Then her arms came around Lilly from behind, and she pressed her lips to her shoulder, warm and unhurried, and stayed there. "I love you too," she murmured against her skin. Lilly looked at them in the mirror. Kate's arms around her, Kate's chin tipped toward her shoulder, both of them standing in the small warm light of the bathroom while the rest of the apartment sat quiet around them. She put her hand over Kate's. They stayed like that for a while. No particular reason to move. Oliver was asleep down the hall, and the city was doing whatever the city did at this hour, and none of it required anything from either of them right now. Eventually, Kate pressed another kiss to her shoulder, and Lilly felt her smile against her skin. "Come to bed," Kate said quietly. Lilly looked at their reflection one more moment. "Yeah," she said. "Okay."